Yo, what it is, You already know who it is, Asharenu from asharenu.com. We back in this piece. Once again, reporting live from the City of Angels. You know, we're in a dungeon right now. We're definitely in a heavy lunar energy at this particular moment. So, I gave myself a couple minutes to think. Now we right back with it. We right back with the shits. Instantly. What's up, Brianna? What's the deal? We're going to give people a chance to come in before we go in. But just to lay a foundation before we go in. Hopefully y'all seen the last video. For those who didn't tune into the last video, definitely tune into that after this video to give you a broader understanding of what I'm talking about. What's up, Marvin and Magi? I know it's snowing heavy out there in the East Coast. What's up? What's up, pimpin'? Yeah, you know what I mean? I met you in DC. You know what I mean? Shout out to Two Gun Shogun. You know what I mean? He came out to see me in DC. Special shouts out to you, bro. You know what I mean? Much respect. What's up, student teacher peace? What's the deal? So I'm going to have the hood on for this one just to kind of create the vibe. You already know how I do it. You know? What's up, Harmony? What's the deal? You know what I mean? Hopefully I see your ass in fucking Vegas before you go to back to the South. You know what I mean? What's up, Moon Spirit? What's the deal? So you already know. Every time I come to a city, I gotta bring y'all the information from my perspective. You know what I mean? Because I know eventually everybody's gonna be traveling. I know everybody is already traveling. You know, it's people who's already been to the West Coast, people who may want to go to the West Coast in the future, past, present, or future, whatever. So this is really just to bridge the gap to what I observe based on, you know, my personal observations. Of course, you know, once you combine it and you complete it with your personal observations, it'll give you a grander perspective of life. What's up, Afro Pick? Rod in the dark side? So we already know. So let me further explain the West Coast. What's up, Dragon OG? Special shouts out to you, Dragon OG. You already know. You know what I mean? Nothing but love and respect. So, let me lay the foundation. The foundation is, another term for the West Coast is zombie land, or the land of the dead. If you don't understand that, you got to go to the previous video. I explained it, but I will shortly explain it here. But if you want a thorough explanation, if I even said that word right, go to the previous video. I talked about the energy of the number 7. Right, so the energy of the number 7 obviously is the most spiritual number. It's talking about going beyond the physical realm. So because this is the psychedelic hub, we have a lot of that astral traveling people or shapeshifters. What is a shapeshifter, right? Now, of course, we may have the definition of, like, for example, demons are able to shapeshift, angels are able to shapeshift. You know, all these so-called higher entities are able to shapeshift and be humans, take human form and appear as humans. Vice versa, animals being able to appear as humans, humans being able to transform to animals, yada, 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 right? There's all different type of perspectives of shapeshifting. But let's break it down scientifically before we break it down artistically. That's why it's the science and the art. You know, we're going to deal with the logic as well as the creative. You know what I mean? We're going to make it full spectrum, holistic. Now, if we break down shape shift, we're going to get a 4 and an 8. What's up, Disobey Death Wish? What's the deal? So when we break down the word shape, we get the number 4, which is the first earth number in numerology, because 1, 2, and 3 is basically fire, water, and another fire. So when we get to the number 4, we're dealing with actual physical matter. So of course, because we're dealing with actual physical matter or shapes, shape breaks down to number 4 because it's dealing with actual earth magic. So first and foremost, we understand that it's dealing with earth magic. So whenever we're talking about shape shifting, we're talking about you are shifting the shapes of matter, whether it's your own personal matter or matter outside of your physical body. Now, when we break down shift, it breaks down to number 8, which is the energy of Saturn or the energy of carbon. When we put these together, what do we get? The number 3. 4 plus 8 makes 12. 1 plus 2 makes 3. So shape shifting, but why does shift break down to 8 before we even get to the number 3? Why does shift break down to 8? Now, we understand shifting is basically, it's not just moving. When you shift, it's like you're actually jumping. It's like you're jumping as opposed to like you're moving in a linear line, right? When you shift, it's like you're here, then you're here, then you're here. You're like skipping the actual physical components of something, or you're not going in a linear line. You're appearing and disappearing. What does that have to do with the energy of the number 8? We know that the number 8 or Saturn deals with time, right? Saturn deals with time. So whenever you work with the energy of Saturn, you're dealing with how to master time, how to manipulate time so that you can have more time. When you have more time, you can do more things. You can create more streams of income. You can do all the things that we normally don't have time for when you're able to manipulate time. How do you manipulate time? You work with the energy of Saturn. So let's put this together. So once again, we have shape, which breaks down to 4 because we're dealing with manipulating shapes of matter. Shift, dealing with time. You're shifting or moving through time and space. So shape, shift, the 4 and the 8, moving through time. We're manipulating time to make it appear as if you're here, and you're here, then you're here, and then you're here. You appear to be jumping through time when in actuality you're actually manipulating time because we're dealing with the energy of the number 8. So we got shape, shift. We put it all together. It breaks down to the energy of 3, which is the energy of Jupiter, which is the energy of expansion. So shape shifting means you are manipulating matter to make it appear as if you are jumping through time, or you are manipulating time to where it seems as if you are appearing and disappearing, which makes it seem as if you're doing some type of magic, which is the energy of number 3, the energy of the sorcerer, or the energy of Tahuti, or the energy of Mayat, Trismegistus. You know, for those who have read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Trismegistus, it's a complicated word, the great, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So, what does this have to do with anything? How does a person shape shift? Now that we broke down the numerology of it so we can understand the word, which I encourage everybody to do anyway. So if you want to understand any science, if you want to understand anything in life, anything could be broken down to a word. Because anything could be broken down to a word, anything could be broken down to a number. So when you study words and you study numbers, we can actually see what these things mean on a logical level or a scientific level, so it doesn't seem so mystical and magical, and it seems as if certain people are only able to do it, or it's some type of psychic shit, or it's something that we don't all have access to. It's just that some people understand it more on a logical level and some people understand it more on a creative level. So now that we understand the mathematics, how is this being played out in real time? As I said before, another way to say it is, but hold on, let me answer the question before I continue. The question is, how do you find the element of the cities? The element of the cities, how do you find it? It's not something that has to be found. It has to be felt. You feel it based on how the people behave. You must observe the people. You must observe what the people are saying. You must observe how the people are behaving. The people are just reflections of the elemental energy that's already around the city. See, each city is built and designed in a specific way on purpose. None of this was done by accident. So, for example, places that have a lot of water obviously deal with the water element. Now, of course, there are many cities that may have multiple elements or multiple ores or ruled by multiple deities. It may not just be one. But just to simplify things, whatever city you go to, whatever city you in, go downtown to any city, whatever city you in, go downtown and just watch what happens. And just truly observe and truly listen with your spiritual ears and your spiritual eyes. Don't really be looking at the physical. Look beyond the physical in terms of tap into your intuition when you are observing the shape shifting. Because we'll use that word instead. I observe the shape shifting abilities that take place right before you. Now, what do I mean by that? For example, you go downtown, you find somewhere to post up, you can stand up, you can meditate. It takes a certain level of courage. This isn't really something that you just do because you want to. It's more so a thing where it requires you to give of yourself as well. And what I mean by give of yourself, you must be open to receive and be able to accept the truth when it's presented to you. In other words, you're going to start to, as you observe and listen to the people, you're going to pick up on certain patterns. Like, okay, this subject matter is coming up over and over and over again. I'm seeing this symbol over and over and over again. You start to develop patterns because you're seeing things more often than others. There's going to be certain symbols that stand out more than other symbols. Conversations are going to be geared towards certain things more than others. So you must dedicate, I would say give yourself about 24 hours and just be outside. I talked about this in an older video, just being outside for a full 24 hours, because most people, even though we consider ourselves natural people, I don't see motherfuckers being outside a full 24 hours. But sometimes you need to make that sacrifice, no matter how hard it may be. If you got kids, pay somebody to watch your kids and put in the spiritual work. Of course, this is easier said than done, but it just requires certain planning. You must be outside in nature if you want to discover the elements or the spirits. These things, you're not going to find it being inside. You need to be outside and you need to have your intuition on point. So as I said before, there's going to be things that stand out more than others. So as you're taking your notes about what symbols are standing out, what conversations are coming up, what colors are people wearing more than other colors, what colors stand out, what animals are you seeing more than others? Once you start to develop these patterns, you piece all these things together. It's like you're putting together a puzzle, and all of these symbols will have something in common. And whatever they have in common will reveal to you the element or the spirit, whatever it is that you're seeking. It's like whatever you're seeking is going to come to you in scattered puzzle pieces, and you have to piece it together on your own. So once you piece it together and you start to get an image, it starts to create an image in your mind, and this image that's created in your mind is going to reveal to you the next step to go through to find out the element or the spirit, the deity, or whatever it is that you're looking for of the city. And of course, I would say the first thing to start things off is break down the actual name of the city. Whatever city you're in, break down the name of the city using numerology, then connect it to a planet. Then once you have a planet, you have a frequency to work with. So okay, when I approach the city, based on the title of the city, when I approach the city, I'm already approaching it with a particular mindset. So for example, it breaks down to the number 1, you know that it's a solar energy. So when you actually go out to observe the movements of the city, you are observing it from a solar perspective. And what do I mean by a solar perspective? You may want to chant a mantra. Let's just say you chant the mantra 111. Or you may just chant 1. Or you study the sun. Or you study the esoteric meaning of the sun. For example, you just place yourself in the mindset to decode why does this particular city break down to this particular frequency? And you need to find out why that is. It's not enough to see what number it breaks down to, but why does it break down to a certain number? And once you discover why it breaks down to a certain number, that's going to open the doors for you to discover all the other secrets. Each city holds a key or a secret. Each city holds a key or a secret to a greater discovery for those who have the eyes to really see and the ears to truly listen. So each city has a special key that must be unlocked once you start tapping into your creative mind. It must be alone. It don't necessarily have to be alone, but if you are with somebody else, they can't be throwing you off. They must at least understand what you're doing so that they don't interrupt the frequency. Sorry about that. Somebody you're with, they can't interrupt you because, as you see, a fucking interruption, right? You don't need that shit happening. You're strictly in your spiritual mindset, then some shit like that happens, fuck your whole shit up. So if you are with somebody else, they must at least understand what you're doing, even if they don't understand why you're doing it, but they at least have to give you enough space to comprehend what's really going on. And not to judge you, and if they want to add on, let them add on, because they may see things you don't see that can be an addition to your observations as well. So if you bring a person along, they must at least have an understanding of why you're doing what you're doing, what's the purpose, what's the goal, so on and so forth. But if you can do it alone, then do it alone. But if you must bring somebody else, you may fear your safety. You may not want to be outside at night by yourself, whatever. I perfectly understand. So bring somebody else along, but don't just have them as like a third wheel. They're just there for your safety, for you to feel more comfortable. Don't do that. They at least have to be in tune. Y'all have to be on the same level so that y'all can create this mastermind. What do I mean by that? The person has to be in tune with you so it manifests a third mind or a spiritual mind. When 2 or more minds come together, they manifest a spiritual mind or a mastermind, right? We talked about that, right? You need 2 or more people to manifest this mastermind. So if that other person is not in tune with what you're trying to accomplish, the mastermind cannot manifest. And if the mastermind cannot manifest, you're better off being alone. Because to have somebody else there and they're not in tune, so the mastermind cannot manifest and to reveal the secrets to you, the spiritual mind being created can't manifest the secrets to you, then of course they're just going to become a blockage more so than an addition to your observations and your studies, right? Let's see. Would that explain crimes in certain cities? Absolutely. There's a reason why certain things happen in certain cities. It's based on the frequency of the city. It's based on the vibration of the city. And of course, frequency and vibration are 2 different things. Vibration is a feminine energy. Frequency is a masculine energy. So the vibration is the frequency is what's being emitted from the vibration. You can say the vibration is the movement that appears to be still. But based on the vibration, the level of the vibration, it emits a certain frequency. Like everybody emits a certain frequency based on their vibration. So based on your vibration, you're going to emit certain signals out into the universe. This is the true science of manifestation. This is why to truly manifest anything, you must change your vibration. When you change your vibration, it changes the frequencies of what you are emitting to the universe, which will change what is being reflected back to you. So if you want to change the things that are being reflected back to you, you must change your vibration. Combining the masculine and the feminine energies together as one. The 2 opposites combined as one. Alchemy. All right. Let's see. It's coming into the live feed. The information is what? You know what I mean? Shout out to you, Danielle, for tuning in once again. Is safety you always carry a taser? Have no fear. First and foremost, have no fear. Now, of course, there's a reason to be concerned with safety. Obviously, it's crazy motherfuckers out here. But they not as crazy as you. That's what motherfuckers don't understand. To even be doing this work, you are the craziest of the craziest. Even a crazy motherfucker will bow to you because you putting in that work. And I speak from experience. Of course, there's always a reason to stay in the house, right? It's too late. This place is dangerous. You shouldn't be here. But is it fear or is it manifestation? Because if you bring fear into your manifestations, it's going to be reflected out back to you. So if you go outside thinking you need a weapon, then you may just need a fucking weapon. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Because I used to think like that too. I always had something on me as well. Like, yo, nobody bet not try to do something to me. But the more and more I got comfortable with it, I actually just left the shit at home. I don't even carry weapons with me anymore because I'm like, I don't need to. Because it was my own fear being emitted back to me. My own fear was being reflected back to me, not because I actually had to deal with that. Because most of the time, because I've been amongst some very crazy and unusual motherfuckers. And most of the time, they're just going to ask you for some change. Or if they want to take things a little further, you can shut it down with your magic. Don't rely on your voice. Rely on your sorcery. Again, your sorcery is for defense as well as offense if necessary. It's just like martial arts. You don't go around trying to beat people's ass, but you have it just in case you need it. Which most of the time you're not going to need it. Right? You know what I mean? Most of the time you're not going to need it, but you have the protection just in case. So if you have any fear, just do a ritual before you even go outside and raise up your protection in your aura beforehand. Leave the weapons at home. You know what I mean? This is how you truly tap into your spirituality. Because if you thinking a taser or some pepper spray or your fist is going to get you out of certain situations, you're going to have a rude awakening. You must rely on this. First universal law, the law of mentalism, all is the mind. Do not put, just because you have something on you to protect you, don't put your faith in a physical object. Put your faith in your own mentality. That's the difference. Put your faith in your own mentality. So don't you feel comfortable because you have something on you. You're not going to always have it on you, but you're going to always be equipped with this. You're going to always have this. That's the difference. Put your faith in your mind, not in the physical things that's supposed to protect you, which doesn't always work. You can have everything physically on deck, but that doesn't always mean you're going to guarantee success. There's been many people with guns who still got shot and killed by another gun. So their gun didn't stop them from dying. But this could have stopped them from dying if this was on point. So don't put your faith in nothing physical. This physical is just an illusion. Put your faith in that which is not an illusion. The mentality that we carry into the world. This is the greatest challenge, the mentality we carry into the world. You know, let's see. You walk through the hoods in LA solo, never had a serious problem, because you shouldn't have a serious problem, because it really isn't a serious problem unless you're an enemy. If you're not an enemy, you shouldn't have any problems. You should be able to walk wherever the fuck you want to walk with no problems, because you don't have any problems with the people. It's only when you have a problem that a problem will manifest. Like your enemies, you're going into enemy territory. But if you're not an enemy, you don't have anything to be afraid of. That's the difference. But if you are an enemy, you know to stay far away from a rival's hood, because you're not supposed to be over there. Just like they're not supposed to be where you are. But if you don't exist in that realm, then you don't have to think about things like that. So that's the difference. Unless you're in that world, You don't have to think about shit like that. That's the difference. Do I have an experience I can share with us where I've overcome fear in the streets? Of course, I was homeless. So I had to face all of the things that I thought was in the streets, all of the things that I thought could have happened. I had to face it because I had to deal with it on a daily basis. So living in the streets conquered my fear of the streets because I was forced to live in the midst of the chaos. And eventually, the chaos started to become orderly. In other words, I knew where to be, where not to be, at what times. You know what I mean? Just depending on the dynamics of what's going on, you figure it out as you go. Right? So as I figured things out as I went, let's just say, okay, in LA, I would say, let's just say the scariest place in LA for some people may be Skid Row. Right? Skid Row, motherfuckers are not going to be in Skid Row in the AM hours. Right? So, what did I do? I ended up in Skid Row unknowingly. I didn't find out about Skid Row until I actually walked into it because I was homeless in the streets. So I would just, what I would do, I would always travel. I wouldn't hang nowhere. When I was homeless, I was always traveling. I'm on trains, buses, walking. I never really posted up anywhere. I didn't make anywhere my home. I was always on the move. So in the midst of me always being on the move, I ended up in Skid Row, and it completely blew my mind. I didn't even know a place like this even existed. I'm like, this is fucking zombie land. It's a bunch of zombies walking around. And I don't mean zombies in a disrespectful manner. Zombies as in those who have transcended this physical realm. They are purely spirits. Purely spirits. Meaning they can see and sense fear within you. That's what it really means. Anybody who's street or anybody who's hood, they have transcended the physical where they can sense fear. Just like a wild animal, they can sense if you are afraid. So once you know, like, okay, I can't hide my fear. I must deal with my fear. I cannot hide it. So once you actually have to deal with the fear, instead of hiding your fear, which we're taught to hide our fear, because most people are scared as fuck about whatever. That's why people don't come outside at night. That's why people don't go places alone, because most people are afraid because they're not actually dealing with the fear. They're trying to maneuver around the fear. Okay, I'm not going to go here. I'm going to go here. They're maneuvering around the fear. They're not facing the fears head on because we're just not taught to do shit like that. We're taught to be safe, be secure, do things by the book. Don't do that, do this. For example, when I was talking about in the last video, it was a time where I had to hop the trains because I just didn't have the money to pay for the fucking trains. But I had to get to certain locations because I was a person that liked to stay on the move. So I had to learn how to navigate the train system without getting caught on a daily basis. So instead of saying, okay, I'm just not going to take the fucking train, I'm just going to post up somewhere, I'm like, no, I'm going to take the train. But I'm just going to learn how to navigate and maneuver so that I don't get caught up. Meaning there is a way to maneuver to the where you don't have to deal with consequences because all laws can be manipulated or bent. You can bend the laws if you are willing to face your fears. When you face your fears, you realize that your fears can be bent and maneuvered and manipulated to your desired effect. For example, I'll give you one last example before I move on. Once I understood what Skid Row was and the dynamics that go on around there, one day I challenged myself. Like, okay, instead of me trying to maneuver and be like a raccoon or a rat trying to, be mysterious and not be seen or heard, I just decided to be loud as fuck. I'm like, okay, I'm going to walk down this motherfucker and everybody's going to hear my conversation. I chose to speak about sex magic out loud. I'm walking down Skid Row talking about fucking sex magic with one of the partners. Loud as fuck. I'm like, okay, just to see what happened. Who's listening? how are they gonna react? Motherfuckers just looking at me like this, looking at me past. I'm just talking loud as fuck. Like I know exactly what's going on, and I dare anybody to interrupt my fucking conversation. Nobody interrupted because I didn't show any fear, and they could not sense the fear. Because they did not sense the fear, I walk right on past, no problems. But if I was trying to be all sneaky and maneuver, it's like, hey, who is this? They instantly detect that shit and they will manipulate you. See, nature doesn't play nice when you fear your own reflection. Nature doesn't like to play nice. So it will reflect your fears back to you because it's not being dealt with. When you face it head on, nature bows. Nature will bow to you when you face it head on. The same thing with dogs. I used to be afraid of dogs until I realized you don't run from dogs. You actually stand your ground, and they will stand their ground. And most likely, if you run towards them, they actually will fear you. But if you turn your back and start running, then they're going to bite you in the ass. But if you stand your ground and you go towards them and you show no fear, they start to bitch up because they're looking at you like, this person isn't scared of me. So maybe I need to be afraid because they're not afraid of me. They may actually be able to harm me. So they start second guessing. Maybe I shouldn't be chasing this motherfucker. Maybe I shouldn't be barking at this motherfucker. You know, they may just sniff around your feet or whatever, but then they just leave you alone. And this goes for anything in nature, whether you facing a lion, a tiger, a bear. When you show no fear in your heart, you don't have to worry about it attacking you because it would be afraid of you, or it would just allow you to go about your way and not disturb you. Of course, you don't want to go into a lion's den, but you can navigate around the fucking lion's den and the lion won't fuck with you. Just don't cross the barrier and you will be okay. Don't cross the barrier of somebody else's territory and you will be okay. Don't go in somebody else's hood acting like you know what the fuck is going on. If you don't, just navigate around that motherfucker and just keep it moving. You won't have any problems. There we go. I know that took way longer than it should, but somebody asked me for personal experiences. Well, there you go. There you go. But what if they wanted to just pick with you? Just show no fear. If they come at you, okay, let's just say they come at you, which has happened to me. You know, I came up in LA. So a lot of gang members have approached me. And, you know, I've been pressed before. Where are you from? What are you doing here and all this stuff? When they ask me where I'm from, I'll just say I'm from LA. I'm from the same place you from, motherfucker. You're not about to bully me when I live on the same fucking block. Whatever. Then they just keep moving. This is what I'm saying. When you don't show any fear, you're not necessarily being confrontational, but you're not being fearful either. They ask you a question, you answer the question, keep it moving. Because again, once they realize that you're not an enemy, then it shouldn't be any problems. It's only when you're an enemy, as I was saying earlier, that you will have problems. But if you are not an enemy, then you don't have to deal with those type of consequences because you don't have anything to do with those dynamics. You're just passing through. You're a traveler. When you have the perspective of a traveler, then what you do is travel. You travel through all realms. You don't pick and choose. You can go wherever the fuck you want to go. Being respectful, not confrontational, but not being fearful at the same time. Maintaining that balance. You know, that's how you gain respect, by not being afraid. When they don't sense fear, they actually respect you because in other words, you don't allow their picking with you to throw you off your square. When they see that they're picking with you, but it's not throwing you off, then you don't have any problems. Only when they see, like, okay, I can just yell at this motherfucker and he's going to flinch, or she's going to flinch, or she's going to do whatever I ask her to do, or he's going to do whatever I ask him to do, because all I got to do is yell. They don't like yelling, so all I got to do is yell because they don't like it. and I can manipulate them and I can just use them like a bitch. But when you don't give a fuck about the yelling or whatever tactics they throw at you, because this is always a game of chess. Life is always chess, so you have to make the correct chess moves. That's what life teaches you. Life is like a big ass chessboard and you just making plays. So based on the plays that you make, it's going to come with a certain reaction. So you want to make sure that those reactions don't throw you off your square. You may lose a couple pieces, but you can still win the game. Or you may lose the battle, but you can still win the war, right? Don't get thrown off because you lost a couple pieces, because you can still win the overall war. You can win the game even if you lose a couple pieces or most of your pieces, you can still win. That's the mentality you have to carry. Don't get caught up in the battle. Stay focused on the overall war. Right? Best way to defeat your enemy is to not have an enemy. Absolutely. Because the true enemy is always within. All right? You conquer yourself, then the world is conquered as well. The hardest thing to conquer is self. But once self is conquered, then there truly is no enemy. Just like you said. Peace, reflection, peace. What's up? What's up, new creations? What's up? Peace. Let's see. How can you overcome subconscious fears that you're not aware of? Bring them to your awareness by doing things that you may be afraid of, because this does happen. You may have subconscious fears that you didn't know was there, but if you're not constantly challenging yourself, they're not going to come up until it's too late, where you have to deal with it directly. So if every day you're challenging yourself and you are conquering fears that you know you have, and you make this a lifestyle, then the subconscious fears that you didn't know you have, you will discover those. And once you discover it, you can conquer it. But if you're not trying to discover it, you can't conquer it until it's basically in your face and you have to deal with it in a moment, and you may be thrown off your square because you didn't know it was going to come up. So you have to, on a daily basis, you're constantly conquering fears that you know you have, so that you can discover those that you didn't know you had, and conquer those the same way you conquer the ones that you know you have. So every day you push and strive for perfection. Not perfection as in death, just perfection as in something that's constantly growing and something that's constantly evolving. There is no max, there is no beginning, and there is no ending. Just action and intention and willpower, force, so on and so forth. No problem, love Sky. So, going back to shape-shifting, because this is basically all we're talking about anyway. Going back to the shape-shifting. To be able to manipulate matter by manipulating time, because time and space are connected. If there was no time, there could be no space. Because how do you measure space? By time. How do you measure how far something is from you? By time. Okay, it's going to take me 2 minutes to walk down the street. So down the street is 2 minutes in my future. And that space in between is equivalent to 2 minutes. So we measure space based on time. So time and space are actually one essence. So when you transcend or when you manipulate time, the manipulation of time also allowed you to manipulate space. In other words, for example, things like black magic or quantum magic or esoteric magic or hidden magic or just the natural magic of the earth or the original man and woman. This is how people were able to survive living amongst wild beasts, right? Before we was living in cities and all things like that, we were living side by side with the animals and had a actual, how do I say it? There was a mutual understanding between us and the wildlife. We don't have that now because we just see animals in zoos. We may see deer or raccoons, or we may see animals, but if you look at the average woman, if she sees a bug, she's gonna lose her fucking mind. Why is that? Right? Let a fucking roach run across a fucking woman's foot and watch she flip her fucking top. Something that's essentially harmless. Now, we're not talking about a lion. We're not talking about a bear. We're not talking about something that can actually destroy you. We're talking about a bug. That just goes to show how powerful nature really is. It's the force. Right? The force of a fucking cockroach can be felt to the point where it strikes fear into somebody who knows that this mammal or this insect can't do anything to it. So most people react by killing the roach. They see a roach that crawls over their foot, they kill that motherfucker. Because the fear made them react out of their emotion. But what is there to truly fear? What could the roach possibly have done to you? Or an ant? Or a beetle? A ladybug? A fly? Right? It's because insects truly rule the world. Let's just say ants. If ants were just a couple, let's just say, if they were a little bit bigger, let's just say the average ant was this big instead of this big. If ants was this big, they would rule the fucking planet because they will conquer people, because people will be scared out of their fucking minds. Insects are like aliens. And if you don't believe me, we learn how to build our cities by observing how ants build their ant colonies. For those who are not familiar, watch a documentary on ants and see how they build their ant colonies and how intricate and complex this is and how they interact with each other. It's all vibration. They interact with each other based off of vibration. They don't communicate like we communicate using words. They communicate using certain tones of vibration. They also communicate chemically. When they're, when the scout ant is moving around looking for food, they leave a chemical trail. And when they find food, they go back and make the trail even stronger so that the other ants can follow the trail based on the chemicals. It's a whole nother reality. That because we don't understand it, that's the true fear that strikes within people when they see insects, because they feel the power of the force and they don't understand it. Because again, truly, what can an ant do to you? What can a roach do to you? A ladybug or anything like this? But there's a reason why it strikes fear into people, because they don't understand the true essence, but they feel it. They don't understand it, but they feel the power of the insects. How can something this small strike fear in something this big? But it does, because they feel the force. It can be felt. Even though it's not understood, it can be felt. Right? How do you get back lost items? You don't get them back. If you lose something, there's a reason why it was lost, first and foremost. So if something was lost, it wasn't by accident. For example, for most people who have had crystals, have lost a lot of crystals, it's as if that motherfucker just walked out of the fucking room. He's like, yo, what happened to my crystal? That motherfucker just literally just walked out of your reality. Right? So, if you lose items, there's a reason why it was lost. And if it is found, there will be a reason why it's found. There's always a lesson behind everything. So if you lose something, you must ask yourself, what purpose did this serve in my life? What did it mean to me? How valuable it was? Not in how much money it cost, but how valuable was it to you in your actual day-to-day living? All right? And if you actually do rediscover it, then you take the lesson like, yo, this was lost and now it was found. There's a lesson for everything. Again, nothing happens by accident. Nothing happens by accident. So we must study things from an esoteric point of view. So how to get back lost items? They come back to you just like they leave you. They will leave you and they will come back on their own accord, because everything is mental. Manipulation of time and space, shape-shifting, something that appears to not have feet magically gets up and walks right away from you, and you can't find it. How did that happen? Time and space was manipulated for better or worse, just depending on how a person perceives it. A small spider can kill a full-grown man. Bees too, absolutely. But that's not why people are afraid of them. People are afraid of them because the force that they feel from it. People not afraid because what it could potentially do. People are afraid because the force that they feel from the insects, because it's the most powerful force you can feel. How can something this fucking small have such a great spirit? A huge spirit. A little ass roach has a huge fucking spirit. So let you not see 5 or 6 of these motherfuckers. One is doing enough damage. You see one crawl across your foot, you already freaked out. Let 5 or 6, 7 or 10 of them motherfuckers be coming at you. Motherfuckers will literally go directly into their subconscious mind and become a child again. You know what I mean? It's definitely an interesting experience to watch. Nonetheless, for those who like entertainment, capture a couple roaches and release them. About 10 roaches, capture them and release them and see how a person reacts. They will be afraid for their life. Something that's harmless will just strike that subconscious fearness, will bring it to materialization. It's a subconscious fear that is brought into materialization when they see the roach, because roaches represent the energy of Saturn. For those who may not have known, it definitely resonates, with the energy of survival, the energy of being able to do for self, the root chakra, the number 8, so on and so forth, so just giving y'all some insight into that. Let's see. Yep, okay. Do I know the clip-off deities? I definitely am familiar with the clip-off deities. As I spoke about one of the clip-off deities in the last video, which is Lilith. But we don't necessarily have to go into that right now, because I wouldn't say that's necessarily relevant to the topic, because most people don't even know what the clip-off is. So I will have to do a whole video on the clip-off for people to even understand what the clip-off deity is, let alone what the clip-off itself is. Because you have to understand the clip-off first, which is the backside of the tree of life. For those who don't know, let me educate you with the backside of the tree of life, or the shells of the tree of life, the dark side of the tree of life, the opposite of the tree of life. But we'll leave it there, For those who want to do their own research, feel free. But that's a whole nother video. Somebody said roaches are just nasty. Watch a documentary on roaches, then come back. That's all I'll say. If you think they're nasty, watch a documentary and see for yourself that they're not as nasty as we may suspect. And I'll leave it at that. If you want to do your own research, feel free, but they're definitely not what we think they are or what they appear to be. They are definitely shape shifters, because they appear to be a certain way, but in all actuality, they are something completely different. True shape shifters. So if you truly want to understand shape shifting, study insects, ants, roaches, anything that crawls. Study insects. If you really want to tap into the energy of shapeshifting, because that's how they survive. Truly, something so small has such a powerful influence. They're able to shape shift into something so small, but yet have a huge spirit. That's not by accident, but we must study to know why that is, on a scientific level as well as an artistic level. An animal totem. So watch documentaries. You can watch documentaries on insects on YouTube, but then you can research animal totems so that you can understand the spirituality attached to the insects. So study the animal totems of the insects, then watch the documentaries or vice versa, whichever comes to you naturally first, so that you can have a holistic understanding of, what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Where is Dolph? He said, where the Dolph is? Are you talking about the 11th spear of the tree of life? Dolph represents knowledge or the abyss. So for most people, Dolph is basically the energy of Darth Vader, being able to go into the abyss to find the illumination in the dark, or basically to go into the cave, to go into the darkness and find the light within the darkness. That's essentially what Dolph represents. So after you have done all this logical research about whatever it is that you're researching, and once you have gained some type of actual experience, now you must basically the actual experience in the light. So basically, once you go out into your city and you do your experiments, you experiment with your mantras, you put into action all the knowledge you were gaining. Now you must go into the darkness or within, or go into your cave, or go into your subconscious mind, which is the dark, and discover the light there. That's the process. So when you discover the light by doing the research, and you discover the light by in the outside world using your actual physical senses, now you use your sixth and your seventh senses or your intuition, and you discover the light trapped within the darkness of the subconscious mind, or the abyss, or the Dolph, or the Darth Vader. That's what Star Wars was all about, for the metaphysicians out there. All right. What would I consider to be the key to success in LA? To be an occultist, to break down the symbolism, to understand what's going on beyond the surface. Because if you observe the city on the surface, it appears to be very shallow. What do I mean by that? You have a lot of beautiful women, but whose minds is on, let's just say, manipulating men. You know what I mean? They're not really trying to be queens. They're trying to get over, and they're trying to manipulate, and they're trying to sabotage certain energies and frequencies just based off of them not even understanding who they are, right? So on the surface, it looks like a bunch of shallow shit going on, a bunch of horny ass dudes looking for pussy, or a bunch of women who's looking to manipulate men or to get money, or just basically to extract resources from the land. And just on the surface, because again, you can see prostitution here. LA is definitely one of the secret cities where you can still see prostitution, and it's still on the fucking streets, and the police let this shit happen. I've seen it with my own eyes. I'm not making this shit up. I will not reveal the locations. I believe I have in the past, but again, motherfuckers are deleting my videos now. Because I made a video when I was in Atlanta. For those who've seen it, if you've seen it, I made a video called Where the Fuck is Renu? That video is no longer on my channel. What happened to it? Obviously, I revealed something in that video that wasn't supposed to be revealed, so they fucking deleted that shit, or somebody reported it or flagged it for whatever fucking reason. Who the fuck knows? But I'll leave that for those in the city to discover where those locations are, because how I discovered it, I had to get a direct experience to discover where certain locations was. So I had to earn all the knowledge, as everybody else has to earn the knowledge. So for those who truly want to know, you have to earn. So I'm just giving you insight to how to earn the knowledge and to unlock the keys of success for any city. Because it's the same process you go through to unlock the keys of LA. You can unlock the keys of New York, Texas, Houston, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago, North Carolina, South Carolina, so on and so forth. It's the same process. Once you perfect one city, you go to the next city. Once you perfect that city, go to the next city. So you want to build up a network of keys, like the janitor who has a bunch of fucking keys that unlocks every fucking door to the company. He has access to all fucking rooms. That's what I'm talking about. So you can say the world is like a big corporation building, and each door has its own universe. So to discover the secrets within each universe, you must have the key. But in order to have the key, you must be, I'm not going to say you have to be a janitor, but you have to have the mindset of each key requires you to put together certain things or to construct a puzzle that's scattered. You have to construct it. And when you construct it, it reveals the location of the key once you discover the key. And again, all this is mental. Once you discover the location of the key, now you can go into the door. So as you unlock more and more doors, you gain more and more keys so that you eventually you have a whole motherfucking source of keys, which all represent a particular power that we have access to. Each city is connected to a certain power that we all have. So for example, in LA, you see a lot of shape-shifting. But that's LA. So if you study the city of LA or whatever city, it will reveal to you a certain occult art based on the element of the city. So again, LA, for example, is shape-shifting. So if you wanted to learn the art of shape-shifting, you could come to LA and see it for yourself and to study it with your own eyes, to hear it with your own ears, and to basically tap into the frequency of it, because that's what people are on anyway. For example, you have the Hollywood vibe, right? You have people who pretend to be things that they are not, right? Basically to get over on people. You know, people like to name drop. Oh, I'm this person's manager. I'm in this person's clique. I'm cool with this person. You know, people like to name drop in Hollywood, right? So if somebody who's naive goes for that shit, you know so and so, you can get so and so into the club. I can get you into the club free because I know the owner. People know that game that's played, right? So that's big in Hollywood. You have some fucking shapeshifters like, yeah, I got this, I can help you get this, yada yada yada. You make sure my battery is cool, okay? So you have shape shifting here, and it works for people because most people are naive. Most people open themselves up to be influenced because it's not that they don't know any better, it's just that they want to be manipulated. See, that's the flip side of all of that. So that's what I'm saying. It's not about right or wrong, good or bad, because most people who are getting manipulated want to be manipulated because what else do they truly have going on? Let's just be real. Somebody who doesn't really have a lot going on in their lives wants to believe these things are real in their own mind. So they go for it because they want to believe that it's real. And if it is revealed that it's not real, then, they're like, yo, shit, I was just here to enjoy the ride. That's how a lot of people think anyway. So they open themselves up to the manipulation, just being naive, just trying to be inside of a certain crowd, because that's just the energy of Hollywood, just the energy of LA. Everybody wants to be a superstar, right? Everybody want to be an actress. Everybody want to be a rapper. You know what I mean? Certain people want to be game bangers because the culture is the way it is. So on and so forth. So it opens up the doors of manipulation when you try to chase these dreams. There we go. Okay. You was about to reveal a location. Talk to the drum circle in Lamert Park. Hey, definitely. People can see the comments now, so y'all can reveal whatever y'all want to reveal in the comments. Feel free to reveal whatever secrets that you feel you want to reveal. I'm not gonna filter the comments unless somebody come with some fuck shit. But it don't really happen too much. We just block them and we keep it moving. So definitely, if you know something, definitely don't feel like you can't reveal something. You can reveal whatever you choose. Hollywood is shape-shifted by careers? Absolutely. How does shape-shifting relate to Neptune in the natal chart? Well, Neptune is like the imagination. Neptune gives Pisces its power. So shape-shifting in Neptune is really dealing with the fantasy world that people create in their own mind. In other words, based on a person's imagination and what inner world they have created with their own mind, when they come into contact with a person that comes close to this fantasy world, that's what I mean by they open themselves up to manipulation, because they have already created this image in their mind based on their imagination, based off the energy of Pisces or Neptune. So they already have created this world. So when somebody comes to them, oh, I can give you something that they have already mentally been asking for, so on a subconscious level, when it actually manifests for them in the form of a trick or a shapeshifter, they're already open to it. So they allow themselves to be manipulated because they have already created it in their mind. It's the same thing with the anima and the animus. The anima and the animus, basically, like, if, let's just say, as a man, whoever you feel is the most beautiful woman in the world, you actually not run into that particular woman, but a woman that looks close to that. So let's just say it's Beyonce, right? In your mind as a man, Beyonce is the most beautiful woman. So let's just say you meet a woman who looks exactly like Beyonce. That's the equivalent to meeting your anima as a man. So you meet this person who looks like somebody you already have an inner connection with, and this inner connection is Beyonce, or it can be a Marilyn Monroe, or whoever you find, a Rihanna, whoever they are drawn to, right? So if they find a person that mimics those attributes, then they're gonna experience this love at first sight emotion. And the challenge is, can you truly get past the woman looking like Beyonce or Rihanna or Marilyn Monroe, Kim Kardashian, whoever the fuck? Can you get over that and truly appreciate that person for who they really are? Then with the woman, it's just vice versa. Whoever women are drawn to, whoever that man is in their mind that they find attractive, and they meet somebody that look just like them and they experience this love at first sight, can you truly get over how this person looks and truly appreciate this person for who they really are? Some people can, some people can't. For the people that can't, the relationship don't last too long. For the people that can, they end up becoming married and can be living happily ever after. But the challenge is, can you truly appreciate this person beyond how they make you feel on an internal level? So that's just a quick detail. If y'all want more details on the anima and the animus, I already made a video on it. You had to go back in the archives. But that's just a quick example. You had a dream of a large red snake. Whenever you dream about snakes bring your awareness. It's trying to bring your awareness to something. Like, for example, people have dreams about getting bitten by a snake. It's a problem that you're trying to suppress in your mind that needs to be dealt with. And you're trying to suppress it. But just like the Kundalini will always rise up, in the end, that problem is going to always rise up no matter how much you try to push it down. So whenever you see snakes, if it doesn't represent sexual repression, it's representing the repression of something. Something is being repressed, and because the Kundalini likes to rise, you need to deal with whatever is being repressed, whether it's sexual, whether it's mental, whether it's an emotional problem. It may be you're in a bad relationship that needs to fucking end, but it keeps getting put off, or you need to get fucked, but you're trying to hold on to your saintly ways, but that shit is making you sick. You need to get your fucking walls pushed in, but you're trying to wait till marriage. Okay, you know what I mean? I'm not here to judge nobody's way of life, but shit gets real sometimes, goddammit, and we are human. So when you see snakes, it represents something that's being repressed that needs to be awakened or risen up fully. So yes, I can interpret dreams, but I'm not advertising that skill set just yet. You know what I mean? Let me perfect all this other stuff first, but I'll do that in the future. But I do know how to interpret that shit. Let's see. What if you don't have one? Now, what do you mean, what if you don't have one? What's up, Ron Jeremy? You dream of men? I mean, I'm pretty sure you do. We see men and women every day in our lives. So most of you will dream about people at some point, pretty much every day. That's what we see more than anything. We see people more than we see animals. So most of the time we're going to see people, but how many of us remember the faces of the people we see? You know what I mean? How much of this data is being collected in our memory, or is it something that just passes over us and we don't truly understand what's going on? You know, you dreamt of talking snakes. Well, if the snakes is definitely talking, you know what I mean? It depends on what the conversation is like. You know what I mean? Because some dreams are just absolutely fucking hilarious. Then some dreams, resonates with an actual problem. But of course, there's dreams that are absolutely hilarious. You know what I mean? So it just depends on the content or the concept of the dream. So you have to put the dream. Most dreams are scattered, and you have to piece it together. All right? So hearing a bunch of fucking noise. So that may be a signal it's time to get up out of here. Hopefully y'all don't hear nobody fucking. But if y'all do, if y'all want to hear that shit, you know what I mean? Y'all let me know. You know what I mean? I'm with the shits, trust me. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. You keep seeing the number 29. Well, 29 is 11. 2 plus 9 is 11. Then 11 breaks down to 2. So you're really seeing the number 2, which is the lunar consciousness or the subconscious mind. Of course, the number 9 resonates with Mars, direct penetration into the subconscious mind. So 2 and 9 represents direct penetration into the subconscious mind. So however you plan to directly influence the subconscious mind, because I know you resonate heavy with the Mars energy because you're an athlete. For 1, you're an athlete. So for 2, the number 2 resonating with the subconscious mind, how can you combine your athleticism with your subconscious mind? That's a puzzle that you will have to discover and piece that shit together. Because what you already naturally do on purpose, something that you already, you dedicated your life to, how can you implement that with your spirituality, with your subconscious mind, and being able to, clear out the subconscious mind and then reprogram the subconscious mind while still being athletic? You know what I mean? So it's not two things that's separate. It's things that you can actually piece together. How can you piece your spirituality with your professional athleticism? Piecing that shit together, all right? Just something to think about. What if you aren't attracted to a main look or a look? Yeah, see, with women or the animus, women, most of the time, women have multiple basically styles that they're attracted to. It may not just be one. Men, most of the time, we're attracted to like one type. Most of the time, not all of the time, but women, most of the time, women are a lot more complex. So they may have a variety of styles or types that they're drawn to. So that's why it is. Like women most of the time don't just have one. That's mostly men. So if you have multiple styles, it's the same thing. If you see any one of these styles that you're attracted to for whatever reason, that makes you feel that love at first sight emotion, then you know what's going on. You are encountering your animus. So I definitely encourage everybody to study the anima and the animus so that when you actually encounter it, because most of the time it comes to you in your dreams. It may manifest physically at times, but before it manifests physically, it's going to manifest in the dream world. You know what I mean? So you definitely got to study it. You got to be able to notice it when you see it. But again, you got to be in tune with your dreams to even be able to tap into that. All right. But if you want to be in tune with your dreams, I'll give you a quick hint. Sleep with your head facing north and sleep on your right side. Sleep on your right side, meaning the right side of your body, with your head facing the north. If you don't know where the north is, download a compass. Sleep on your right side and enjoy flight. You know what I mean? Just giving y'all some insight for those who may want to enhance your dreams. Of course, you can read the books Astral Dynamics by Robert Bruce if you want to take it a step further. So just giving you quick jewels. You're born on the 29th. Does that count? Absolutely. You know what I mean? Just put the moon and Mars together. So number 2 is the moon. Number 9 is Mars. So you're just thinking about how do you fuse the energy of the moon with the energy of Mars. Mars is basically your spirit, what animates the body. The moon is your subconscious mind. what can be reprogrammed, and basically your subconscious mind projects your reality on the outside. Our reality is being projected from the subconscious mind. So the moon reprogramming and tapping into the subconscious mind with Mars, which is your spirit, being able to animate. How can you animate the moon or the lunar energy with this masculine energy? This 9 is this masculine energy. This 2 is this lunar energy. So you got the masculine and you got the lunar. And how do you bridge together these two contrasting energies, which is the 11? Of course, most people resonate with the 11 as a spiritual calling. What is that spiritual calling? How to merge the masculine and the feminine, which breaks further down to the number 2, which is all this happens in the dark or in the cave. So combining the 2 and the 9 and the 11 is all going to take place within the subconscious mind or within the dream world or through an astral projection. Then it will be reflected out in a physical fashion once you put in that work on the subconscious level. So I just gave y'all some tools to how to tap deeper into the dream. So all this is taking place on the subconscious level. All right? Let's see where we at with it. So we're going to end this pretty soon. Let's see. When you're on your spirit, when you're on a spiritual path, what do you think about having mundane sex or having sex with people who don't necessarily enhance you spiritually, but condescend to a physical desire? Well, we all have to go through these chambers. I talk about these chambers, right? We all go through chambers. We've all had mundane sex. Probably more than we've had spiritual sex. The average person, if they're being honest with themselves, has had more mundane sex than spiritual sex, if we want to be completely fucking honest. However, we understand that there's two paths you can take. You can be the person that waits for a particular person to have spiritual sex with, or you can be the person that, like, okay, I'm not going to wait on a fucking soulmate to appear. I'm going to use the resources I have right now available to me and use them for not necessarily my benefit, but for the benefit of the whole. What do I mean? If you understand the science of spiritual sex, that means you can give the other person a spiritual experience, even if they don't understand what's going on. So you being able to give them a spiritual experience because you understand spirituality and you know how to enhance your sexuality to make yourself more attractive, to make yourself a lot more lucid, to make yourself a lot more dynamic in the ethers, to truly have a sexual, magical experience. You can make this happen with damn near anybody, honestly. Or you can wait for a magical person to appear, which may or may not happen depending on how much work you're putting in. So there is no right or no wrong, no good or no bad. It's just a path. You can take whichever path you choose. And it's just 2 paths. It may be 5 paths. I'll just present, I'm just simplifying it. So, you know what I mean? So for all the dudes out there, you know what I mean? You trying to bang down, let's just say you got you a nice little team established. You got 5 or 6, nice looking bunnies or honeys or women or queens on your team. You know what I mean? And you rotate around. We just being real, you know what I mean? This ain't about getting in nobody's feelings. Unless you want to settle down with one, you can either settle down with one or you can just rotate the 5. But because you understand spiritual sex and because you understand sex magic, it can still be effective because you understand it, so that you can position yourself to benefit from it as well as benefiting the other person, which is probably why they're drawn to you anyway, because you understand this. They may not want to understand it. They may not care to understand it. They may want it to remain a mystery, or just something about this person. I just like being physical with them. You may want to keep it a mystery. If you want to, you don't have to reveal everything you're fucking doing. Meaning the same way you wouldn't reveal your fucking cards, the cards that you hold, you playing a game of cards, you're not gonna reveal your hand, because then a person can plan around that. Like, okay, I know what you got, so now I can manipulate my hand so that your hand doesn't block out my hand, whatever. So you don't have to always show all of your cards. But if you do choose to show your cards, just be prepared to play chess. That's what I'm talking about. So if you're talking about all this stuff and the person understands or don't understand, just be prepared to play chess. That's all I'm gonna say. Because if you talk about all this magical shit and they don't understand, that shit may flip on you, because they may think like, oh, okay, you're trying to possess me. You know what I mean? Who are you? You doing some type of black magic or witchcraft? Because people don't truly understand the true essence of magic. It can backfire on you when you try to educate people on certain things and they don't understand shit. So just be prepared to play chess if you choose to reveal what you're truly doing. So it's not about you manipulating or you doing something behind people's back. It's just certain things are better left unsaid, especially when it comes to magic. If you already didn't know that shit, walk in silence. All right. You always being chased by Dobermans? They never hurt you. They just look crazy. So for the dreams that you're being chased in, you're not running from whatever image. You're running from something in reality. You must study your life and ask yourself, why do these images look crazy to you anyway? Like, for example, paint the images of the people you see in your dreams. Draw them and become familiar with them, because they may be actually trying to open you up to an energy that may enhance you. But you're running from it. You're running from something that's trying to help you. Possibly. Because again, shape-shifting. Something can appear to be a demon, but it's really an angel in disguise trying to help you deal with your fears. I'm going to come to you as a fucking demon just to see if you will conquer your fears and truly see me in my true form after you are no longer afraid. That shit happens too. The subconscious mind is very chess-like, very maze-like, very labyrinth-like. It's not a linear line. The subconscious mind speaks in symbols. It doesn't speak directly like we having a conversation where it speaks in code. So something that appears to be one thing can truly be something else. But the lesson is, can you conquer the fear of being afraid of something that can potentially help you? Because that's all it is. You conquering your fear will only help. It's not going to harm you conquering your fear. It would only help. So, how can you store a lot of information? You just have to constantly live the information that you're trying to store. It's like trying to read a book and trying to memorize every page. It's damn near impossible unless you have a photographic memory. But if you bring each page to life, that's different. So if you want to store information, you have to find a way to bring that information to life so that you can actually see it playing out in real time. That you will more likely remember an actual experience than something that was written in a book. So you have to bring this information to life. That's how it gets stored into the subconscious. It has to be brought to life. You have to bring it off the page or off the book, off the internet, wherever you're getting the information. You must bring it away from that and see it playing out in real time. That's how you can store it. So once you have an actual direct experience with the information, now it's truly stored in the subconscious mind because you have a direct experience, right? Your BF not into any of this and I still get enhanced spiritually. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. So you don't have to be dealing with other magicians or other sex magicians. You can be dealing with the dumbest person on the fucking planet and still get enhanced spiritually if you know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing, then it really doesn't matter who the other person is. They're just truly a vessel for you to enhance your spirituality and for you to heal them as well, even if they don't understand what the fuck is going on. Just let them remain and wander. Just let them remain in fucking fantasy land. Just, you're just the greatest person ever. You know what I mean? Just let them remain in fantasy land if that's where they fucking choose to be. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Just like in the Matrix, some people just do not want to be woken up, so let them sleep. You know what I mean? Let them rest in peace. You know what I mean? Give them what they want, but if they want to rest, let them rest. You know what I mean? We don't have to try to awaken everybody or feel like we have to do certain things because we are intimate with a person or we're close to a person. We can choose to keep secrets for those who may not know how to handle the keys. You must know how to handle the keys to benefit from the keys. So giving somebody information that they're not ready to handle could be potentially chaotic. As I say, now you have to play chess because they may take it the wrong way if it comes off the wrong way. So better to leave them in mystery and have them in fantasy land, right? I guess this is like pimping 101, but some people don't like that, but we have to keep it real, right? So, I mean, I'm revealing the fucking secrets of how to do anything you want to do, for real, if you are in tune, right? But scratch all that, you know what I mean? This is a mundane video and I'm not revealing any secrets, you know what I mean? Anyway. You consider having a mundane sex partner, but you had a vision of him implanting a parasite in your womb. Now you must ask yourself, because you had the vision, does that make him a parasite? Or does it mean that there's still something going on within you that is parasitic, that's being reflected through the image or the vision that you had? Because of course we can say some people are parasitic, right? We can say, yeah, I dealt with people that were parasitic. Like, this motherfucker had bad energy, and I had a bunch of bad luck and misfortune dealing with this certain particular person. Or is it that you allowed yourself to be open and you didn't close the door when it was time to close the door? Meaning, when you are performing this sexual magic, you are opening up a door or a portal. But once the door or portal is open and you gather the information or the experience you need, then you close that motherfucker back. Don't leave it open, because when you leave it open, it leads to misfortune and bad luck because you kept something open that you were supposed to fucking close. So just something to ponder on. So is anybody truly parasitic? Because if we understand all is mental, we cannot direct anything on nobody else. We can't blame nobody else. We can't blame the physical reality. It's all symbolisms of the mind. So whenever we see something reflected in other people, such as visions or actual experiences, it's something that we need to correct in our own mind. It's just a symbol to correct something in our own mind, more so than I don't need to deal with this person. No, there's something that needs to be dealt with on an internal level, which actually created the whole experience in the first place. There's something that needs to be dealt with first and foremost. And when that is dealt with, then either that person will disappear or be replaced, or, you know what I mean, things will naturally move without you having to force it. It will naturally dissolve itself if that's what it is meant to be. If it's meant to dissolve, then it will dissolve on its own. You don't have to put any force or pressure on it because you have dealt with what you need to deal with on a mental level. You know what I mean? All right. Mediumship? What about mediumship? But what's up, Mercedes? I see you. I see you tuned into this motherfucking live stream. What's up? But what about mediumship? No, hold on. Let me see. We are 29%, so let me turn on my backup battery so that the phone doesn't go off. All right, so we really tuned in now. So what time is it? It's about 3:20. So y'all let me know. Keep the questions coming if y'all got anything. Again, this is definitely mediumship, if y'all want to call it that. You know, what is the title of this video? Shape shifting. So I definitely revealed the whole science for those who's listening, you know. Even though it's gonna be like over an hour long. I know everybody's not gonna watch it, but you know, it's only for those who can. But actually, you can actually speed up YouTube. So for everybody who don't be having an hour long to watch all these fucking videos, you can actually, now you used to be able to only do it on the computer. Now you can do it on the phone where you can speed up the video. So whenever you watch my fucking videos, click the option button. I believe it's on the top right hand corner. Then click on playback speed and speed the fucking video up so 1 hour can turn into 30 minutes, possibly 25 minutes. So you can get through an hour long video in 25 minutes, saving time. So you can get through all this shit without having to sit down for a whole fucking hour and a half or however fucking long the video is. You can get through that shit in half the time. So just giving y'all that for those who may be, you know, I know all these videos be long as fuck sometimes, but speed the video up so you can get the information and keep it moving. Can you use shape-shifting to connect with the dead? It depends on what you consider dead. And what I mean by that is, the dead are actually truly alive, if we understand that, right? So, what you're truly asking me is necromancy. You asked me about necromancy. So if you really want to communicate with the dead, I encourage you to study necromancy. I encourage you to study the Egyptian mysteries, and I encourage you to do more dream work so that you can actually understand this on a personal level. So I know I can explain it however I want to explain it, but necromancy. All you gotta do is type in necromancy. It's gonna give you a whole lot of information and use it to the best of your ability. But before that, my personal opinion to your question, can you use shape-shifting to connect with the dead? Yes. You may want to start off with family members before you start working with deities. Before you work with deities, you may want to start off with angels or archangels. Start off with an energy that you're comfortable with and expand. So if you're comfortable with a family member, then connect with a family member. You maybe want to write your great-grandmother a letter and put the letter on an altar, burn a candle, or a red candle, burn a red candle, stare into the candle, activate your divination and fall asleep looking at the candle and envisioning the person coming to you, and they will come to you. Eventually, they're going to give you a numerical code, maybe, just depending on who the person is. Try to find out what frequency they resonate with and connect their energy with a numerology code so that you can tap into their code with, let's just say it's 404, 432, whatever. Connect their essence with a numerology code so that you can tap into that energy whenever you speak this code or this symbol. That code can become a symbol. The symbol can be placed on the altar. You can burn that symbol into your subconscious mind so you can just think about the symbol and connect with that person, just depending on how far you want to take it personally. All right. Can I explain the role Lilith plays on the natal chart? Lilith is like your shadow. Lilith is your dark side. Lilith is, the energy of Lilith is just all about freedom loving. Lilith wants to be free. Lilith wants to be sexual. Lilith is like the woman who is unfiltered, the woman who is sexually promiscuous, the woman who doesn't care about popular opinion or public opinion, the woman who is just fully herself without basically her subconscious mind stopping her from being herself. Oh, you shouldn't be that, you should do this, that's not how women behave, all that shit that we're programmed with. You need to be ladylike. Women, like Lilith likes to sit with her fucking legs open so that men can stare at her fucking pussy. That's the type of bitch she is. And she likes being called a bitch because that's what she is. Or a witch. So that's the energy of Lilith. So Lilith is the shadow side, the things that women dream about. Or you can say for men, it's like the perfect woman. It's like the woman who will come up to you and ask you to have sexual intercourse without you having to fucking go through the bullshit. That's the energy of Lilith. Just imagine as a man, a woman comes up to you and wants to be sexually intimate, and you didn't have to go through this whole process of whining and dining her and trying to do this and do that. She just got straight to the point. Like, you know what? Let's get it in tonight at 8:00. Meet me at my place. I'm gonna be completely naked. All you gotta do is put in the work and make sure you don't fucking bust too quick. Who's gonna fucking refuse this shit, right? Unless you're married or something like that. But we're just giving examples. So that's the energy of Lilith. It's just a shadow. It's a free loving spirit. It isn't based on popular opinion. It isn't based on religion. It isn't based on anything outside of what she desires. You know, so Lilith in the natal chart is your shadow, and how to fuse your shadow with the rest of the elements in your chart. So it's not for the shadow to dominate, it's for you to integrate the shadow with all the other elements. So Lilith just represents the shadow. You know, another name for Lilith is the baby killer. She kills babies. You know what I mean? So obviously we're dealing with an energy that is going beyond moralism, right? It's not about moralism. It isn't about right or wrong. It's just a pure spirit and a feminine spirit. You know, purely chaotic, or appears to be chaotic, but is very well ordered. You know what I mean? The energy of a prostitute, a hoe, whatever the fuck you want to call it, but respectful. All right? Anyway, that may be a little bit too much. But moving on. Definitely shout out to Mercedes. If y'all want y'all Lilith readings, definitely hit up Mercedes. You know what I mean? That's what she specializes in. You know, I already know. So shout out to you. I see you be putting in your work. Keep on. All right. Are Lilith and Kali the same archetype? Pretty much. Another name for Lilith is definitely Kali. Definitely. Just it's a different tradition. So yeah. So for those who may not be familiar with Lilith, just think about the energy of Kali. If you're not familiar with Kali, I guess the energy of Mary Magdalene, the prostitute. If you're not familiar with that, then just think about your average everyday porn star. You know? Think about your average everyday porn star. That's definitely Lilith or Kali in full effect. Lilith or Kali also likes blood rituals. So for all my women that's on their menstrual cycle or will be on their menstrual cycle and want to connect with the Lilith energy, she definitely loves blood. Maybe too much for some people, but just giving you certain pointers for those who can handle that type of stuff. Anyway, shout out from Palm Springs. You know what I mean? Shout out to motherfucking Palm Springs, tantric all day. So I think I said enough. What do y'all think? I think I answered all the questions. What more could we possibly talk about when it comes to shape-shifting, right? We didn't explore all the rounds. So unless y'all have any other questions, we're going to definitely get up out of here. Let me see. So, yeah, I think I've done the subject justice. I'll probably do another video before the day is out. I'll probably do another video because, again, you know, I want to show y'all more of LA, even though I've showed a lot of LA throughout the years anyway. But of course, we're in 2018, so you know, we're going to present it from a brand new perspective, the 2018 version of the energy of Los Angeles. All right? Say clean detox blood. I mean, whatever that is. I don't know where you can find some clean detox blood, but if you can find it, but you know, the blood that comes out of your body naturally, you know, so whether it's clean or it's fucking messy, you know, it's still magical either way. Either way, you know what I mean? Blood is blood. You know what I mean? So whether, you know, for people who's not into, you know, harming animals, which I don't recommend, But you know, just the blood that comes out of your body naturally should be good enough. I appreciate the super chat donation, Marvin and Magi. You've been, you know, supporting for quite some time now. So special shout outs to Marvin and Magi. Definitely follow him on Instagram for those who are on Instagram. You know what I mean? I believe he's in New Jersey. You know what I mean? So if anybody is in New Jersey, definitely send him a shout out. So much respect, big homie. I appreciate the continued support. And he always sends the 1111. So definitely special shout outs to the Black Sun, 1111, the lunar frequency of consciousness. You know? So appreciate that once again, big homie. Let me see. I thought it was more turning into different personalities, but this opened my mind on it. Yes, you know, that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to give you the perspective you're not going to hear nowhere else because, you know, I guess this is just a little raw. But I guess that's just what Scorpios do. We reveal the raw information in this raw purity form, so we ain't trying to filter it. I'm not here to filter the information. I'm just here to speak it as it should be spoken. You know what I mean? There is no agendas. You know what I mean? This is just, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I don't need to sugarcoat it. I don't need to break it down in ways. I don't need to make it too intricate, too scientific, too logical. You know what I mean? To speak it directly how it's supposed to be spoken so that it can be understood and implemented. So hopefully, for those who've been watching the video and who will watch the video, hopefully you can pull something from this video and actually implement it in your everyday life instead of just watching the video and just, you know, being left in wonder because it was too mystical or, you know, or too scientific. I try to bridge the gap with the scientific and the mystical, you know what I mean, merge them together so that we can have a holistic understanding of what's really going on. Okay. Papa Legba helps you gander. Fortune and fame, correct? Papa Legba is a trickster spirit, so I would say you have to truly understand what fame and fortune really is. It's not what it appears to be. What do I mean? The energy of fortune is more like the energy of Jupiter. But why not break it down, right? Let's actually break this shit down. So don't just take my word for it. Let's break down fame and fortune and let's see what fame and fortune really is beneath the surface so y'all can see what energy this is truly working with. So I'm going to write down fame and fortune. Y'all can follow along too for all my numerologists or my mathematicians because you should be on a level by now. I've been talking about numerology for years now. Y'all should at least have a basic understanding if you truly putting in the work. But let's break it down. Let's see. So give me 1 second. Give me about 60 seconds, if that, so I can break this down and we can continue from there. All right, so 7, 4, 11, 2, 5, 7. 6, 3, 5, 8, 9. All right, so fortune breaks down to 9 and fame breaks down to the number 7. So fame breaks down to the most spiritual number. It's the complete opposite. See, it's very interesting when that happens. So fame, as we know it on the surface level, is about, you know, a lot of people knowing who you are, right? You know, you being known. You know, you're a known face. When you step out of the car, when you step out of your home, people know who you are. You know, people want to, you know, take pictures with you, have your autograph, have a conversation, want to be your friend, want to give you weed, want to give you anything you ask for, yada, yada, yada. It's like a whole different lifestyle. However, fame breaks down to the number 7, which is the most spiritual number, which is essentially the complete opposite of the definition of fame, which is very interesting. So fame actually breaks down to its opposite. What the fuck does that mean? So it means to truly embody the energy of fame, because it is an energy, because you can definitely be famous without being famous, if y'all can peep what I'm saying there. To unlock the energy of fame comes with understanding the spiritual laws of the universe. What does that mean? You can say the 7 universal laws. You can say anything that has something to do with you enhancing your spirit. Fame is enhancement of your spirit and your soul. Because you can gain all that people can give you, you can give to yourself. That's true fame. All that you can receive from other people, you know what I mean? All that attention, everything that fame appears to represent can be gained by putting in spiritual work. That's why fame breaks down to 7. So that same energy, that same sensation, that same feeling that can be gained from other people, you can give to yourself. So you can give yourself fame by putting in spiritual work, because this is the laws that rule over the universe. This isn't just some spooky shit. This isn't just something that somebody made up a couple years ago. This information has traveled all the way from ancient times. So it's something that you have to prove to yourself. You have to prove this to yourself. And once you prove this to yourself, and you actually develop a lifestyle around you proving to yourself your actual power, then you will not even desire fame, because you can give yourself anything anybody else can give you, you can give yourself by tuning in to certain frequencies. Now let's go to fortune. Fortune isn't just money. Fortune also represents fate and destiny. So when somebody reads your fortune, it's like somebody's reading your destination or your path. So what does this mean? Why does fortune, or your destiny or your path, not necessarily currency, your destiny or your path, why does it break down to the number 9, which is the highest vibration, which is the energy of love, also the energy of law? Your fortune or your destiny or fate breaks down to the number 9, because the number 9 represents those things that manifest, or those things that are brought into existence from within. For example, you have the 6 and you have the 9. When you write a 6, you're coming from the outside and you're going inside, right? So basically the outside going into the inside. When you have the number 9, you start from the inside and you expand outwardly. So your fortune or your destiny or your fate starts from within and it expands outwardly. So when somebody reads your fortune, or when you want to read your own fortune, it starts from the inside and it expands outwardly. So you can say we all are following a natural path, whether we understand it or not. We all are destined to be somewhere in life, or to be a particular type of person, whatever, based on our astrological influences, our fortune. Your natal chart, you can say, is your fortune. When you get a tarot reading, what's being read is your fortune, the natural blueprint or imprint that has already been embedded on your soul. So you're essentially reading the symbolism of your soul, which has within it your destiny and or your fate. So true fortune is being able to read and to understand your destiny or fate. And when you understand your destiny or fate, you can better position yourself, because again, we all follow these paths naturally, but we can give ourselves an easier time or a harder time. When you are in tune with your destiny, you can stop doing the bullshit that ain't in tune with it, so you can better position yourself to receive your fortune, or to gain, or to better benefit from your fortune, our natural or our internal treasury. Meaning whatever we desire, we already have, if we just align ourselves with our natural destiny, which will put us in alignment with all the things that we should naturally receive anyway. Right? All right. Hopefully this shit is making sense. You know what I mean? Because this is definitely coming straight from the ethers. You know what I mean? All I had was this written down. You know what I mean? But everything else is straight off the dome. Money is energy, right? Absolutely. Money is currency, and currency is energy. Currency breaks down to the number 8. The number 8 is all about time and space, manipulating time and space. As they say, time is money. Time is money because the more you manipulate time, the more money you make. Ching ching. All right. Okay. How's every season treating me so far? Well, I'm here in LA. You know what I mean? I'm enjoying the sights. You know what I mean? I like to come to LA and enjoy the sights. I'm just looking at the women. I'm looking at the styles. I'm looking at the colors. I'm looking at the graffiti. I'm hearing the conversations. I'm observing everything visual. I'm just taking everything in. So I'm definitely seeing, even though it's a rainy day, it's still women walking around here with fucking leggings with no fucking panties on. That's what the fucking Aries is, right? So I'm just looking at this shit, rubbing my beard. Man, these women don't give a fuck about this rain. They don't care. This Aries season is definitely on point. Because I'm seeing women who don't give a fuck about this rain. They still out with these fucking leggings on, knowing what they're doing on purpose. Just giving us, men as well as women, some women like it too, they're giving us some beautiful visuals. So I'm enjoying the visuals that are being received, by women being in tune with the Aries season. So I'm enjoying myself. Let me see. Okay. Fucking Afro pick is giving out some jewels. It's crazy, you know what I mean? See, these, never underestimating women. They be knowing what they're doing. They appear dumb, or they appear to be emotional, but that is just the appearance. Appearances can be deceiving, because these women are fully aware of their powers and they utilize it to the best of their ability. Don't get it twisted. It's us men who's still trying to catch up and just now figuring this shit out. Because we've been thinking we're so fucking smart and scientific, and we're just stupid as fuck. Until we tune into what's really going on beneath the surface, which women already know about. They may not have the words, but they're tuned in on an intuitive level, which puts them, that's why they mature a lot faster, because they go off of intuition. We have to learn everything visually. They learn everything based off the emotions and how things feel and all that, so they're way more advanced. We have to fucking catch up. Well, again, a lot of men is afraid to say that, but fuck it, you know what I mean? Anyway, hello, what's up, Elisa? One way to manipulate time: work with the energy of Saturn. I think I spoke about this earlier in the video, but just in case I didn't, to manipulate time, which is manipulated every time your conscious mind goes to sleep. Whenever your conscious mind goes to sleep, time is being manipulated. So how do you put your conscious mind to sleep while still being aware? This is why you meditate. This is why we do dream work. So if you truly want to manipulate time, you do it by manipulating your breath. Slow down your breath to 4 breaths a minute. Inhale, hold, exhale. Do that 4 times in 60 seconds. You will manipulate time. And you keep this up for hours at a time, to the point where you can do it outside of meditation. Mastery of your breath manipulates time. You have to master your breathing, because most of the time we're not paying attention to our breathing, so we don't really know how our breathing changes throughout the day based on what's going on around us. If you are afraid, you breathe a lot more shallow. If you feel relaxed and intimate, you breathe a lot more deeper. If you're sexually excited, the breath changes. Every emotion, every sensation changes the way, the breathing patterns, the way we breathe. So when you manipulate your breathing patterns, you manipulate time and space, aka you start shape-shifting. Shit starts happening that normally would not happen because you are manipulating your breath patterns. So Quick answer for a complicated answer. A quick answer for a complicated question. There we go. There we go. It's not leggings, it's pantyhose. I don't know. Trust me, I'm just the observer. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know. I'm just looking, and the sights is the way, you know what I mean? I don't know what I'm looking at. I just be looking, you know what I mean? Because obviously that's what they want me to do. Why else would they be wearing it, right? They're not wearing it for nobody not to look. Because if they didn't want anybody to look, they would be wearing some baggy fucking jeans, right? So obviously, if they're wearing something that reveals their shape, they must want people to look. So why wouldn't I look? Even if I don't understand what's going on, leggings, pantyhose, it all looks good to me. You know, I'm just the observer. You know, but that's just the energy of LA. Can you speak on the? Let me see. What is that? Okay, dream, love, and be. If you're not on Facebook, I made a whole frequency list. But if you're not on Facebook, you probably don't know that. So, I'll say this much without going too in depth. If you really want to understand those frequencies, then without, more than just listening to them and why they have the effect they have, we have to understand frequency. In other words, why does the frequency influence the way you feel or the way you think, the way you maneuver? How is it that frequency influences how we think and how we see things and how we perceive reality? It's because I believe, was it Nikola Tesla said, if you want to understand the universe, think in terms of vibration and frequency, because that's all that really is. There is nothing other than the vibration and frequency. That's everything around us is vibration and frequency. There is nothing outside of vibration and frequency. So again, a vibration is, you can say, the thought. When we think, we influence the vibration. The vibration then influences the frequency that's being emitted on the outside, that's being reflected. And it's going to bounce back to you in the form of a visual picture. Right? So the vibration is like the numbers, right? The frequency is what's being emitted from the numbers. Each vibration or each what is it called? Numerical. I'm losing my thoughts. Let me start over. Each vibration can be represented as a number or a sequence of numbers. That sequence of numbers will be emitted into the universe and bounce back. The universe is a big ass mirror. So these frequencies are bouncing on this mirror and it's being bounced back to us in the form of visual imagery, which all resonates with that particular vibration. So whether it's any frequencies, every frequency correlates with a visual picture, right? So if you listen to sexual frequencies, what's going to be bounced back to you is sexual energy. If you listen to meditative frequencies, what's going to be emitted back to you is meditative frequencies and everything in between. So frequencies and vibration is all there is. So to manipulate your vibration and frequency is to have control over your own universe. That's why frequencies are so powerful, as well as vibrations. And thoughts control the vibration controls the frequency. The frequency is then bounced back or reflected back to you. That's the most simplest way I can explain that. You think that's what I attract women with no panties? I think so too, because I like seeing that stuff. It may just because I'm just being in LA for so long. my mind has been naturally attuned to it. Like, I've been on the West Coast like almost 10 years now, so I'm used to seeing this sexual frequency because this is just all that's out here. I'm not saying all as in the wholeness of it. Of course, there's women who don't wear this stuff, but these women represent that Lilith energy, and you're going to see it when it appears. You know, whether you looking for it or not, you're gonna see it because that's the spirit of the city. You will always run into the spirit of the city. You know? So the spirit of the city, because the spirit of the city is Lilith, then Lilith will make herself manifest whether you like it or not. Now, some people hate it, some people love it. I'm one of the people who don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. It brightens up my fucking day. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm in a depressed mood and I see something like that, my mood rises up. It don't go like I'm more depressed. I'm like, oh man, that's a nice visual. That's a nice visual. And it makes my mind go deeper. It makes me think about spirituality in a way that's like, I start thinking like, then I start making videos. So definitely I appreciate Lilith, because if I didn't see the motherfucking women with them leggings on, I probably would not be making these videos, because they definitely motivated me. On this rainy ass day, I'm coming to I didn't even know it was gonna rain. This rainy ass day, it's gonna be rain. It's been raining all fucking day, and it's gonna be raining all night. But what's keeping me motivated through all this silky weather, or this lucid weather, is motherfucking Lilith with these motherfucking leggings / pantyhose. Still, I'm like, Lilith don't care about the weather. Oh man, I have to step my game up. Because why the fuck am I tripping about the weather? Lilith clearly doesn't give a fuck. So, that's just me being honest though. At least I'm being honest. I'm not gonna fucking hide it. I like seeing it. I like seeing Lilith manifest. Uh-oh. I'm getting messages now. Give me 1 second. Let me clear these things out. All right. Yeah, we still on it. We still live. God damn, it's 2 hours. We still in this bitch. This has became a confession. I'm confessing anyway. Let's keep going. Can I talk about the Siri Yatra? I could talk about it, but I'm not an expert in that field as of yet. So I don't want to speak about something that I only really know maybe 20% of the information. And it's such a vast topic. I don't want to mislead anybody down the wrong road by not knowing enough. So that'll have to wait to a future video. So instead of me pretending like I know what that is fully, I don't. So I humble myself and then say I don't know enough about it to speak about it on a level to make it understandable. I may understand it intuitively, but to explain it using words, I'm not there yet. Not yet. Do you know why we have to stay away from the tunnel light when we die? Because the light has to come from the darkness. So you are manifesting your own light. This life teaches you how to manifest your own light from darkness. So if you see a light that's manifested from outside of you, I mean it's not your own light. So you seek to create your own light. Because most people are afraid of the dark. So when they see a light, they're going to go to a light because they're afraid of the dark. But when you do not fear the dark, you create your own light. So that's why you don't go to the light, because you are not afraid of the dark and you know how to manifest your own light. Like, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to manifest my own light from the darkness that I'm no longer afraid of. That's the difference. Fear versus no fear. What's up, Rob? 313 in the motherfucking house. Shout out to Detroit, Lansing, all the cities in Michigan, the Dirty Glove, Brick City. Y'all already know what it is, man. Shout out, big homie. You know what I mean? How did I get into chaos magic? What do I think of the DKMU? What is DKMU? But I will answer the first part of your question. How did I get into chaos magic? I just started doing experiments. Honestly. The more I became familiar with particular mathematical equations or spirits, I just started to implement them in my everyday life. For example, if I wanted to connect with a particular energy, before I smoke weed, because I used to smoke a lot more than I do now. Like now I barely even fucking smoke, but back then I had a fucking blunt or a joint or a pipe filled with herb every fucking day. So I'm like, okay, instead of me just getting high and experiencing the same high over and over again, let me actually say a prayer or a chant to a particular deity or energy and see how that would influence my high. So the more experiments I did, I realized that there's a huge difference it's a huge difference when I actually chant or pray before I smoke versus me just lighting up the blunt or the joint and not saying anything. I noticed a huge difference. So once I noticed that difference, I just went crazy. I'm like, okay, let me work with this energy. Let me see how this energy is. Let me see what this numerical sequence represent. 444, 555, 666, 777, 888, 999, 111, 222, 333. All that. I just started experimenting with different frequencies and energies and deities to the point where before I smoke now, I do like a 5-minute prayer. Before I even spark up the joint or the blunt or whatever it is. I got like a whole 5 minutes. It takes 5 fucking minutes. Because I want to position myself to receive the information correctly as opposed to the herb just taking me wherever the fuck it wants to take me. Now, outside of, let's take the weed out of it, just me creating symbols and carrying the symbols on me, I noticed a difference. When I started creating symbols and programming the symbols, then shit started to change. Or when I started to chant certain mantras and certain things would happen that normally would not happen. I was literally bending time and space or shape shifting. I'm like, yo, these energies actually is causing me to shape shift because things that usually don't happen are happening now. And the only thing I'm doing differently is chanting, or I'm utilizing these symbols, or I'm combining certain things that I didn't even know that fit together. So it's like it became a huge puzzle piece. And I'm just creating different images every day. Every day it's like scattered puzzle pieces. And I'm just, okay, let me do this. This numerology sequence, this mathematical equation is going to work with this deity. It's going to work with this planetary energy. It's going to work with, maybe the theme of the day or the hour of the day, whatever. So every day it's like I'm piecing together a mathematical equation. You know what I mean? And just studying encyclopedias of spirits, herbs, deities. You know what I mean? So before I ingest the herb, I figure out what planetary energy it resonates with. Then I connect with that energy, whether it be through numerology or whatever astrology. So while I'm eating it, I'm channeling the energy of the planetary energy as well to see what the spirit has to say to me. So I'm not just eating the herb. Now I'm interacting with the spirit of the herb as I eat it, and the spirit can reveal certain things to me because I'm tapping into the energy of the spirit. So it's pretty much just me acknowledging the spirit of things, whether it's the weed, the herb, the deities, the planetary vibrations, whatever. Just me acknowledging the spirit of the things. That completely changed my whole life. Just I started to acknowledge the spirit instead of just looking strictly at the physical. I started to interact directly with the spirit of the things, and the spirit of the things was being reflected back to me. So, short answer to a complicated question. Can I speak on trans surfing and how we can use this to manifest? Trans surfing? What is trans surfing? I never even heard that word before. Maybe I need to catch up. I need to expand my vocabulary. So what is transurfing? What is that? What is the definition of transurfing so that I can properly answer your question? Because I've never heard that word before, but that may be just me. My English is not the best. DKMU is a group that practices chaos magic and got popular a while back, but aren't talked about as much nowadays. Yeah, I never heard of them either. So I can't speak on it. I never heard of them until you mentioned it right now. So I don't know anything about DKMU. I never heard of them. But I will write it down and do my research. So I appreciate the jewel, but I can't speak about that because I have no idea who those people are. Let's see. Quantum jumping. Oh shit. That's what transurfing is, quantum jumping. That's the language I like to hear. Fucking quantum jumping. Look at that. Quantum jumping. God damn. See, I'm learning something new. Y'all teaching me now, motherfuckers say quantum jumping. God damn. But let me answer the question before we get into this quantum jumping. How did I learn so much about numerology? I started to experiment with house numbers. So, my house number is naturally a 7. But I made it a 8, I made it a 9, I made it a 1, I made it a 2, I made it a 3, I made it a 4, I made it a 5, and I made it a 6. Several fucking times throughout the years. Several fucking times. So I have a personal experience with each number because I see how it influenced my household based on what I'm thinking, what's going on within me, where my thoughts are currently drawn towards. So the numbers come to life when you change your house number. Of course, it's already being influenced by whatever the house number already is. But when you actually change your house number and you see that it actually influences the frequency of the house number, for real. So nobody ain't got to tell you that shit. Nobody had to tell me. I just saw it for myself. I'm like, wow. So these numbers are just ingrained in me so fucking deeply. That's why I can any number I can break all this shit down because I done been doing this shit for years. I'm just experimenting. All I'm doing is experiments, and these experiments, just doing it over and over again, just lead to new and newer discoveries. So this experiments. Every day I experiment, whether it's a mantra, whether it's this, whether it's that. I'm doing experiments every single day. I'm experimenting with something every single day to discover something new that I may not have known before. So, it's quantum jumping. So basically your question is, can I speak on transurfing and how we can use this to manifest? So in other words, how can we use quantum jumping to manifest? Well, to me, quantum jumping is similar to shapeshifting because if we're talking about quantum, the difference is, if we're not talking about the physical, we're talking about the quantum, if we're talking about the esoteric, if we're talking about the metaphysical, you're doing the same thing you will be doing physically. You're just doing it all mentally. So for example, how would you quantum jump with your mind? By manipulating time and space. Definitely, again, by manipulating your breath. When you manipulate your breath, you start to have visions or things start to come to you. You start to attract certain thoughts to your field or to your aura. And when these thoughts penetrate the aura, based on how you breathe, it's not even really about what you think. What you think is based on how you breathe. So when you start to breathe differently, you're going to start to attract different thoughts. We attract thoughts based on the way we breathe on a consistent basis, not necessarily just in meditation. You can meditate for an hour a day and breathe properly for an hour a day. But if you breathe improperly for 23 hours of those 24 hours, only 1 hour was proper breathing and those other 23 hours was chaotic breathing, then there will be no quantum jumping. But let's just say 12 hours out of the 24 hours was used to control your breathing. You will be quantum jumping all over the place because you are properly manipulating your breath so that you can receive information that was unavailable to you before because your breathing was improper. So all it is just being more conscious of how you breathe, deepening the breath. It's just like you just don't give a fuck about anything physical. The only thing you're concerned about is manipulating your breath. If you can tune everything else out and focus all day on manipulating your breath, you will experience not just quantum jumping, but quantum leaping. You will start to leap in your consciousness because you are breathing differently, which is influencing how you think. So we think we're this person. Oh, I'm a Scorpio, I'm a Libra, I'm a Leo, Sagittarius, Libra, Taurus, Virgo, whatever, which is only a small aspect of us if we choose to tap into it. But we can tap into any of the 13 signs, or any of the 7 planets, or the 9 planets, or the 10 planets. We can tune into any frequency. Each frequency has a certain breath pattern. There's a breath pattern that will help you merge with the energy of the sun. There's a breath pattern which will help you merge with the energy of Pluto. There's a breath pattern that will help you resonate with anything you desire. Whatever experience you want to have can be broken down to a certain breath pattern. So if you want to experience a quantum leaping, you must continually manipulate your breath. At least do it for 3 weeks, 21 days. Practice controlled breathing for at least 21 days, and you will experience quantum leaping to the fucking fullest. So there we go with that. Okay, the Siri Yantra meditation helps is balancing the left and right hemispheres of the brain. There you go. Okay. You gotta check out that quantum jumping, absolutely. You're late, what's the summary? I have no fucking idea. We 2 hours in. We've been talking about quantum leaping, shape-shifting, numerology, astrology, sex magic, Lilith, Kali. You know what I mean? I don't know. This is true chaos magic. You know what I mean? This was supposed to be about shape-shifting, but this is about a lot more than that, apparently, right? Breathing so deep that Buddha is impressed every breath. Yeah, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Rebirth, yep. Definitely work on those breathing techniques. If you don't do shit else, and I'll leave it at this, and we'll shut it down. If you don't do nothing else, stay in control of your breathing outside of meditation. It's easy to do it when you're sitting by yourself alone in your room, in the closet. But it's a whole nother challenge when you actually have to communicate with people. You have to drive a car. You have to, stay focused on the outside world and all that. We just dealing with the everyday, mundane realities of life. Whole nother world. But if you can master that chaos, being able to keep your breath under control while in the midst of chaos, meaning staying orderly. You are staying orderly in your breathing in the midst of chaos. And you can do this on a consistent basis, quantum leaping will be second nature to you. Because that's the only thing that throws us off, is because when shit happens, we take our attention off of our breath and we direct our attention into whatever the fuck is going on. So our breathing goes back to what we're used to breathing in. Most of our breathing is fucked up just naturally because it's fucking chaos in the world. So we're not in fucking Tibet where you can go up into the mountains and the woods and just meditate for a while. We have to live in fucking cities with all this craziness. So our breath is just naturally a lot more fast-paced just adapt to the city environment. However, when we reverse our breathing Even though we're still in a city environment or a chaotic environment, everything around us will be manipulated because we will experience transurfing. I learned that word today. Transurfing, aka quantum leaping, because we are in control at all times. To be in control is just to be in control of your breathing, not of your fucking posture, not of your thoughts, your breathing. Everybody's trying to meditate and tame their thoughts. Fuck your thoughts. Breathe. Just experiment with your breathing, and your thoughts will naturally change anyway. You know what I mean? You don't have to focus on your thoughts or try to slow down your thoughts. When you're breathing slow enough to the point where your thoughts naturally slow down on their own. Right? So everything starts with the breath. That's going to center your thoughts. That's going to have you more physically fit, in shape, manipulating time and space. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see. By the way, check out OneUp start accepting cryptocurrency donations to your stream. Definitely check out the description. I accept cryptocurrency. You gotta check out the description. I definitely accept cryptocurrency. Check out the description. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely up on it. But let me write that down though. OneUpCoin.com. I will write that down and check that out as well. But I'm definitely accepting cryptocurrency. For those who are into cryptocurrency, definitely check out the description and hit up the fucking wallet. I believe it's called a wallet, but you know, whatever it's called. Okay. What exactly is quantum leaping? Manipulation of time and space, aka shape-shifting. You know what I mean? Shape-shifting or transurfing. You know? Motherfuckers is teaching me shit. See, that's what I love, you know? I get tired of fucking talking sometimes. Educate me. I need to do a live stream where everybody is educating my ass. You know what I mean? Y'all just sit and educate me and I sit and listen to y'all. You know what I mean? I'm going to do that one day. Like, I'm just going to sit and just reflect on what's going on in everybody else's circumference and learn something new. You know, who's doing shit like that? Who's learning from their audience? You know, they peoples. You know what I mean? They extended family. You know what I mean? Teach me some shit. You know what I mean? Which I do learn. That's why I prefer to live stream anyway, so I can actually interact with everybody so that I can actually pick up on things. It keeps the energy flowing. Anyway. You say your husband watches me every day and speaks highly of me. You see why he does. I'm a very wise soul. Thank you for helping him out. I appreciate it. Shout out to your husband and you as well. You know what I mean? I appreciate everybody for tuning in because you know it don't get no realer than this. It don't get no realer than this. You know what I mean? Because I'm showing y'all the work. You know what I mean? I'm not a person sitting up in their room doing the same shit. You know what I mean? Y'all see me putting in the work, so I don't have to speak about it. I just reflect. I'm reflecting on the work that I'm putting in, and y'all see it. You know what I mean? So I appreciate everybody for appreciating the work. That's why I emphasize putting in the work. You know what I mean? Don't listen to my words, put in the work. You know what I mean? And you will definitely see a complete transformation, which everybody else is seeing anyway, because that's why people continue to tune in. Because as we all put in work on a collective level, we all evolve collectively as well. You know what I mean? So I'm learning as well as everybody else. It's definitely a exchange of ideas and energies and synergies, so on and so forth. So I appreciate you. Debbie Lee, D Jesus, or Day Jesus. You know what I mean? However you say it, I don't want to mispronounce it, but Debbie Lee. Cryptocurrency is absolutely no better time to invest. I agree. Cryptocurrencies is definitely where it's at. It's still in its infancy stages because most people still don't understand cryptocurrency. That's why I speak about it a lot. So definitely, if you don't even if you don't invest in cryptocurrency, at least understand how it works. So when it does get to a position where you can use cryptocurrency instead of physical dollars, when that actually happens, maybe the next 5-10 years, who the fuck knows? But you will be in tune, and you can position yourself as opposed to trying to learn it then when it's hot and it's popping. It's still in its infancy. It's still, you can't just walk up to the gas station and, they accept cryptocurrency. Some places do, though. But, it's still in its infancy. But we will get to a place where cryptocurrency is just as popular as the fiat notes. So when that time comes, you're already in position to make that magic happen, Let's see where we at with it. Will I teach my son all of this, or will you just let him grow into his own thing? Yeah, I definitely got to be respectful of everybody's way of life and path. You know what I mean? So the best thing I can do is just to be a guide. You know what I mean? I'm not necessarily trying to make a mini me. You know what I mean? He has to be himself. And I can help him be himself, and whatever I can offer him to help him better express himself, then that's what I'll do. So, but it's always a challenge, to be able to see things within people before they see it in themselves, and to position yourself so that you can properly help them see what you see. Because sometimes you see things before they see it, and you have to help them see what you already see. And that can definitely be a challenge, but I'm sure any parent resonates with that. So shout out to all the parents, that are guiding their kids along the right path of spirituality in whatever fashion that may form, whatever form that may take. Metaphysics, quantum physics, Wicca, black magic, white magic, whatever they into. We all want to see him succeed in all ways: physical, mental, spiritual, and astral, and etheric, and magnetically, and electrically, so on and so forth. You already know. You did that unintentionally in Iraq when my heart was beating 100 miles per hour. Controlled my breathing. Felt like I inhaled helium. I felt like you were somewhere. You felt like you were somewhere else. Definitely. You start manipulating that breath, everything changes. Everything will change. When you consciously start controlling your breath, everything changes. Every single thing will change because your perspective will change because you start to think different thoughts altogether. You know what I mean? So definitely. Let's see. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check out the 1UP coin. You know what I mean? This about reptilians? Nah. That's what people want it to be about. You know what I mean? See, people want me to talk about, reptilians and the government. I don't give a fuck about any of that, honestly. It's all about us. It's all about what we gonna do, how we can empower ourselves. I don't care about what the government is doing or what reptilians is doing. I never seen one. I never seen a fucking reptilian. Have you? Anybody seen a reptilian? I haven't seen one, so I don't really think about those type of things. It's all about what can we do about it. How can we position ourselves to empower ourselves so we don't even have to worry about shit like that, So, I don't like to talk about conspiracies and all that. It's too many people already talking about that. Not enough people talking about the occult realm, knowing what we can actually do with our own selves. Fuck the government. It's all about us. I don't even think about the government. Or aliens and all that stuff. We the fucking aliens. We the mathematicians. We the scientists. We the engineers. And we create the technology. So everything else is just an after effect. But, some people don't understand that. People dedicate whole channels to conspiracy theories, yet tell you nothing about how to do spiritual work on your own. What's the fucking point? Unless I'm missing something. Am I missing something? What is the fucking point? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Anyway. Okay. What's a breathing technique to try? 4-4-4. Or basically inhale for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds. Why am I holding up 5? 4. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, exhale 4 seconds. Do that shit for the whole day and see the difference of just the way you think, your stress levels, how you navigate life, how you think. So 4-44. Try that out for a full 24 hours. So I guess, what is it, 16 hours? Because you probably be asleep 8 hours. So 16 hours, try that out for the whole time you are conscious. You know what I mean? And see how that helps. 4-44. If I'm in LA, I should meet up with Ice Person. What is it? Persona. Oh my God, these Greek words. Personin or Poseidon? Poseidon. Personin, Poseidon. There we go, Poseidon. I have no idea who that is. Yeah, I have no idea who Ice Personian is. But I'm not opposed to working with anybody. If anybody want this work, come get the work. That's all I can say, you know. If anybody want the heat, I can bring the heat, you know. Because I'm just offering my unique perspective of life. You know, that's all I'm doing. But, you know, most people I don't think will be open to working with me because of the content. You know what I mean? People like to put on acts. So when somebody real steps into the building without any fucking illusions, you know, it's a whole different story. How far back? Damn, I'm like 10 minutes behind in comments. Man. So y'all definitely be on it. You know what I mean? Y'all keep the mind working. So we gonna get through all this shit. Let me see. Even if it take 3 hours, I may be on a whole nother 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Let's see. 888. But yeah, I definitely, you know, whenever y'all ready to educate me, y'all let me know. You know what I mean? I get on live and I just let the comment feed. You know what I mean? Y'all interact and I learn from everybody else. I'm definitely open to that. Y'all, so whenever y'all want to teach me, y'all let me know when class is in session. And I'll sit my ass down and I'll learn. You know, and I'm forever a student. You know? Been watching the videos for 2 years. I appreciate everybody, you know, who been rocking with me for the longevity, because you see the evolution, you know? You see the type of shit I was talking about 2 years ago, and you see what's going on today. And you see the evolution, you see the growth. So I don't have to say anything. You see it with your own eyes. So you know this shit is real. So I appreciate everybody sticking in for the long term. We are the reptiles. Yeah, I believe so. I believe we all have a reptilian brain, or we have reptilian DNA. I believe I heard something like that. So that's why I said we are all that: reptilians, aliens, astronauts, psychonauts. You know what I mean? We are all that. So we're just really discovering our own selves. You know what I mean? Nothing outside of ourselves. Oh, y'all saw that? Oh, man. Let me be more careful touching the screen. Do I like yoga? Absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely yoga. Those positions and those shapes. Oh, man. Yoga is definitely where it's at. You know what I mean? Keep the body flexible. You definitely got to keep the body flexible. So you definitely take some form of yoga or some form of dance or some form of martial art. Yoga, dance, and or martial art. So that you keep your body flexible and keep your blood clean. You know what I mean? Keep all the toxin out your body and, you know what I mean, stay on point physically. So definitely you have to take up some type of physical exercise so that you can stay on point physically. So definitely yoga, dance, martial art, you know what I mean? Some type of athleticism to keep the body on point. Most definitely. How do you manipulate energy during sex to manifest? You got to focus your mind and your breathing. So when you are in a sexual act, stay in control of your breathing. When you can stay in control of your breathing while you are in some wild action, well, things start getting very mystical. So stay in control of your breath. Then start to visualize, not necessarily the things you want, but more so just imagine yourself at peace. That's what I say. You know, everybody trying to manifest. You should be at peace first before you try to manifest anything. Because if you're not at peace, it's going to be a hard time to manifest anything. So while you are in the sexual act, keep your breath controlled and just imagine yourself sitting at peace. And see and study how long it takes for you to arrive at that peace you're discovering or you're visualizing for yourself. So be at peace. When you can be at peace, then you can start to manifest whatever you want, but you have to first be at peace. Definitely be at peace first and foremost. Then you can do all type of advanced things, but be at peace. Let me see. What do you feel the combination of ones and fours mean? I've been seeing one. That's a long ass sequence type stuff all the time for years now. The sequence of the numbers are unique to everybody's individual experience. What I mean by that is, you know, we can look up what 111 means, what 333 means, but you need to chant these numbers. Whatever, for anybody who's seeing numbers, damn, I'm seeing 29, I'm seeing 11, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that. Chant the numerical sequence in your mind and see how it manifests when you become active. See, when you're receptive to the numbers, that's one thing, but when you are directing those same sequences out, whole different world. When you are directing that energy out so that you can see how it manifests for you on a personal level. So whatever numbers you're seeing, you need to redirect that energy out and see what comes back to you. If you don't understand what's coming at you already, if you don't understand why you're seeing a number, then you need to direct energy outside of yourself so that you can see what it truly means. So you got to put in that work. Definitely make the sequence a mantra. The first thing you're saying when you wake up to the last thing you're saying before you go to sleep, the whole fucking day. That's the true discipline. How long can you keep up that mental discipline to chant these numbers or these mantras or these sequences so that you can truly see the secrets? But everything requires you to put in work. If you don't put in the work, then you're not going to get the results. So you must continuously every day put in work and do experiments. Because you may only get pieces at a time. You may not get the full picture. It may take you years to get the full picture of something. So definitely take your time. There is truly no rush. You know what I mean? Just make every day worthwhile, worth living, because you're putting in your work. You're putting in that hard work and you're seeing for yourself the true nature of reality and proving it to yourself. Fuck everybody else. You're doing it and you're proving it for yourself. You know? Shouts out to South Florida. Definitely shout out to motherfucking South Florida. But hold on, I missed the question. Is there something different about RH negative blood types? Not really. You know? When it comes to blood types really, you know, it may influence your diet. It may influence, you know, certain things that may be constructive or destructive. Certain blood types can't really handle meat. Other blood types can eat meat without a problem. You know, so knowing your blood type kind of influences what you should be doing on a physical level but beyond that, You know, when it comes to the metaphysics and the quantum physics and all that, your blood type don't really matter. You know, on a physical level, you should know so that you don't, hurt yourself, because you shouldn't be, ingesting certain things, or certain things certain things pollute your blood, while certain things cleanse your blood. So just focus on the things that cleanse your blood, and you will be just fine. So we don't need to really get too deep into the blood types, other than on a physical level. Let's see. This conversation is shape-shifting? I believe so. That's why we still here, and it's been down there 3 fucking hours. When the last time I made a 3-hour video? I believe the last time I made a 3-hour video I believe it was called I'll Title This Later. I think that was months ago. It's been fucking months. But I just been on the move. Like, I can do this every fucking day. But, we got to space this out. I don't want to overload everybody just too much of anything. So we have to just space it out. But definitely this conversation, I believe, is shape-shifting. I believe so. Check out NLP. I've definitely done my research over the years of NLP, but it's definitely not something that I've studied recently. So, you know what I mean? I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes. So definitely keep it coming. I'm taking notes. What do I think about? Let me see. What do I think about the metals? I fuck with the metals. I definitely fuck with the metals. So this is gold. This is silver. This is copper. What the fuck is this? This is Tuscan. The metals enhance everything. Gold enhances your energy. Silver calms your energy down if it's too much going on. Venus helps to harmonize the energies if it's in balance, if it's in imbalance. So basically, the crown chakra is gold, the third eye is silver, the throat chakra is Mercury, but you can't really, Mercury is like a liquid form. Then the heart chakra is copper. So I resonate the metals with the chakras. But if we want to go all the way down, Mars or the solar plexus is iron. The sacral chakra or the sex chakra is tin. And Saturn or the root chakra is lead. So definitely I am very in tune with the metals, and I encourage everybody else to be in tune to the best of your ability and see how it works personally. You know what I mean? Sometimes you may want to rock some gold. Sometimes you may want to rock some silver. Sometimes you may want to rock some copper, because it all enhances your aura, keeps your aura and keeps your bioenergetic field pure. You know what I mean? It's like it puts up a barrier of protection as well as emitting certain frequencies. You know what I mean? Just depending on what type of alchemy you're trying to emit. So whatever you're trying to manifest can be broken down to a metal, because it can be broken down to a planet, and it can be broken down to a chakra. So this is what I mean by alchemy. It's like you putting together these pieces of a puzzle and seeing what works for you depending on what you're trying to do. So I definitely fuck with the metals heavy. Every day I'm rocking metals. Every single day I'm rocking metal. All the time. What does NLP stand for? Oh, never mind. Neuro-linguistic programming. Okay, cool. Help you get through your day of work. Shit, if I can help anybody get through their day of work, my job is complete. Because I know that shit be stressful, you know what I mean? But I gave you all the techniques, so you ain't even got to think about that. You got the mantras on deck. You know how to control your breath. You know how to not let all this fuck shit bother you. You know what I mean? I'm setting y'all up real well for those who choose to listen. You know what I mean? Definitely. You love gold, definitely continue to rock the gold. You know what I mean? Definitely rock the gold. Definitely. Without question, to enhance your energy. But for those who feel like they got too much energy, then you bounce it out with the silver, And the silver helps you be more intuitive, right? So if you want to be more intuitive, if you want to unlock your intuition, you can do that with silver. Silver helps you to unlock the lunar energies. Gold helps you to unlock the solar frequencies or energies, you know. All right. You used to be super negative till you changed it with NLP. Shout out to you, man. That's definitely a good thing. You know what I mean? So NLP is definitely effective. Again, I wrote it down. I'm going to continue to do my research as well. You know, possibly it'll help me too. So I got to put in that work as well. Definitely. I see you, Leandro. You know, definitely keep studying. I encourage everybody to never stop studying. Never stop seeking wisdom. Never stop. Because there's always something to learn. There's always something that can be enhanced. And there's always something that can be updated. You know, without question. So, all right. That breathing technique is good for hypnosis. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I mean, definitely, you know, self-hypnosis is definitely, you know, something that is slept on, I would say, but definitely very effective once you get your breathing down pat. RH negative blood types don't have the rhesus monkey gene. You are correct. But at the end of the day, it's like, if you have the monkey gene or not, I mean, I don't really see how that really will make a difference in terms of what you can and can't do with your mind. That's, you know, that's what I focus on. You know what I mean? Like, whether you got some monkey blood and you or not, you still got a mind and you can still perfect this. You can still master your mind, whether you got monkey blood or not. You know, it's not going to stop you from putting this to work and making this work for you, regardless of whether your blood type is. So that's what I'm saying. You know, whether you half monkey or not, you know, it really don't matter to me. If I was half monkey, I still have to use my mind, you know. All right. The book Reptile, it says a book for lawyers. Okay. You write that down. You know, we definitely deep into the law. So I write that down. Appreciate that, Leandro. Yeah, William Hoff. No, not William. Wim Hof. Definitely. You know, the Iceman. Definitely special shouts out to the Iceman. You know what I mean? Definitely big shouts out to the Iceman. Let me see. Eat only red apples and become God. Eat only red apples and become God. From 0000 with no picture. All right, man. So I guess we're supposed to eat red apples and we become gods. Well, if it was that simple, then, you know, there would be no point to study anything yet. Everybody would just be eating apples. But if that works, then it works. So y'all let me know. Somebody just eat red apples and y'all let me know when y'all become God. You know, put that theory to the test. Heard they are smarter in ways superior. Who knows? If so, if they are smarter and superior, still don't make a difference. Because if their mind isn't here, what difference do it make? That's all. That's my only perspective. You know what I mean? You may be smarter and superior, but if your mind is hacked, does it really make a difference? If you're not putting this to work, and if you're not putting this to good use, what difference do it make if you're smarter or superior, but you haven't perfected this? You know what I mean? What good is it going to do you? You know what I mean? How superior can you really be if you don't understand the dynamics of your mind? You may be physically superior and smarter, but mentally and spiritually and on a quantum level, you know, it only goes so far. So that's my only thing. So whether somebody is superior or inferior, smarter or dumber. Get this on point, and you're not even gonna be concerned what your blood type is. When you get your mind right, your blood type is truly irrelevant. 2009 manual. All right, got it. All right. What's up, Kevin? Are there some sacred places you like to visit, like a pilgrimage, maybe top 5 from around the world? What's the most interesting place you experienced spiritually? Oh my gosh. Definitely my top 5 will be Asia. Well, I guess it's more specifically Tokyo, London, Mexico. Where in Mexico? I guess Mexico City. Definitely want to connect with that, with that Latin energy, Central American energy, Brazil. I heard the women is real nice in Brazil. Gotta check out Brazil. And Africa. Where in Africa? I'm not sure. Maybe South Africa, somewhere in there. And the most spiritual place I've been, I would say Devil's Gate. Devil's Gate in Pasadena. Cause the energy there is like no other. That changed my life. Going into Devil's Gate changed my life. So I would say Devil's Gate in Pasadena. Devil's Gate down. For all those LA heads, if you ain't been there yet, definitely take a pilgrimage. You know what I mean? How does one heal from an injury? Meditation, gemstones, maybe. It depends on what type of energy. But urine therapy. Practice urine therapy externally to quicken your healing from an injury. Urine therapy. Definitely do your studies on urine therapy. That's my recommendation. Whether you're drinking it or whether you're putting it on the actual wound. Urine therapy is definitely, there's no better therapy than urine therapy other than you working your mind. You think the apple thing makes a little sense? Try it. That's what I said. Somebody needs to put that to the test. Somebody just eat some red apples and become God and come back and let us know that you became God so that we can follow suit. So I'm not discrediting it. If it works, somebody need to test the theory out and come back with the results and we can follow suit. So whoever is up to the challenge, put in that work. Let me see. You feel the 8 strong? Definitely. That 8 energy is always strong, man. It is. I believe it is the heaviest energy. Let's see where we at. Okay. Your body is not designed to eat nothing, only red apples. This activates some things. Only 50 people in the entire world know this, so good luck, man. Search the truth and don't judge nothing. Your body is not designed to eat nothing. Well, again, somebody need to put that to the test. That's all I'm going to say. So somebody put it to the test and come back with the results. And if it's legit, we will follow suit. So hopefully this 0000, hopefully you have put it to the test. And I guess you're coming to us, somebody who has tested this and somebody who is God. I don't think you would be saying that not putting it to the test yourself. Hopefully you're not. So I guess, okay, well, yeah, 0000. Have you tested this theory personally, and can you truly say you are God? Because if you have, and you can say that, then so be it. So be it. I'm not going to challenge it at all, because if you did it and you experienced it, and that's your results, and so be it. I'm not gonna refute your personal results. You know, a back injury will definitely urine therapy. You know what I mean? Like there's no other greater therapy. Of course, you can fast if you want to. You can, of course, be flexible and stretch. All the things that I'm pretty sure you're doing anyway. But I definitely would say urine therapy. Urine therapy, that definitely helps quicken the healing process for any injury. Of course, there's books on it. There's information on it, so don't just take my word for it. Do your research and make a decision from there. So, you say this only to big soul like you? Have you became God? 0000 from eating red apples. That's my question to you. I just want to hear it. I guess not hear it. I want you to type, you have become God because you have tested it. And if this is true, then so be it. If it is your own personal experience, and that's what completed you, then so be it. Do I believe in life path numbers? I believe in all numbers. The life path, the destiny path, the soul urge number. The whole numerology chart. Because I do numerology charts as well. But most people are not really, that's a little bit more complex and technical. I'm a life path 3 personally. But definitely life path, that's the energy of Saturn. So if you're a life path 8, it's all about reconfiguring the physical matter. So people with heavy Saturn energies, their whole thing is reconfiguring physical matter, being able to shape and mold physical matter to their liking and design a reality based around that, the manipulation of physical matter. That's the simple way to put it. No Birdman hand rub. Yeah, I've been traveling, no sleep. You know what I mean? No sleep. You know what I mean? I'm running off of spirit. But I'm gonna get my energy up once I finish the video. I'll get something to eat. Maybe lay down for a little bit. Then I'm gonna be right back with the shits. You know what I mean? So just gotta put in the work. You know what I mean? We gotta push beyond our limits. But of course, we definitely gotta have the Birdman hand rub. You know what I mean? We're gonna always be rubbing the hands. I believe I started the video rubbing my hands. I believe I did. I think the first thing I did before I even opened my mouth was do the Birdman hand rub. I don't remember. That was 3 hours ago now, so I don't fucking remember. Come visit Ireland. Okay, Ireland. I believe, yes, Ireland has some beautiful visuals. I believe I looked at some images of Ireland, and the mountains are vast. I believe it's one of the most beautiful sights I've ever seen. In Scotland, Ireland and Scotland, I believe. So Ireland, I believe, has some very beautiful visuals. So definitely shout out to Ireland. You know what I mean? I know that the people in Ireland frequency, I know, is on a whole nother level because of those visuals. Same thing with Tibet, and all those places that, people don't really talk about or hear about, for obvious reasons, Let's see. Okay, so 0000 said he has become God, or she. It may not even be a he. Well, salute on your godhood, So that's somebody that said all they did was eat red apples. I guess that's all they eat is red apples. So if you want to become God, just eat red apples and nothing else. According to 0000 with a blank image. Not sure why you have a blank image though. We would like to see how you look. Since you're throwing out these things, send a picture. Let the people see how you look in your God form, if you're not afraid. 4:44. I see you, Leandro. Let's see where we at with it. You have a question? Why does it seem like your life is ruled by the number 8, year, date, name, last name, but my path is a number 9? That's because we are all the numbers, just like we are all the zodiac sign and we are all the planets. So you can be a Scorpio, sun sign, but you still have your moon sign, you still have your ascendant, you still have your Mars, your Venus, your Neptune, your Saturn, your Pluto, so on and so forth. So it just, the energy shift depending on how you think. So the 8 energy is more so, you can say that's the dominant thoughts that you have that makes it seem that way. Because although it may be your name, your last name and all that, but we are more than our name, we're more than our last name, we're more than our body, and we're more than our life path number. We are a combination of all these things and more. So it's just about, don't limit yourself to the physical. That's just the beginning. You'll be here 15 minutes, you gotta go yet, Mom? I'll be here until my fucking battery run out, which, we'd make it a full 3 hours and we'd get up out of here. Saturn is a tough guy. Saturn teaches you those necessary lessons, to mature. Saturn is all about maturity, so, those things are not always the nicest thing. A lot of times it's very harsh reality. Those heartbreaks, those big money losses, those super injuries, the things that change your life. But they mature you in a way you otherwise would not have matured. So Saturn definitely, when Saturn come around, most people run, but run towards Saturn and embrace it like a big brother that's teaching you the game. It's like a big brother teaching you the game, but teaching you the hard way so that you can get it, so that you won't forget it, So embrace your big brother Saturn. You know what I mean? What do I think of ley lines? Definitely if you're in tune with the ley lines or the grid lines, then work some magic around those ley lines and grid lines and see what happens. You know what I mean? So if you are around some ley lines, put some magical work in, because these are, so they say these are, lines that certain frequencies flow through, the earth frequencies flow through it. And so they enhance certain aspects or monuments or architecture that's built upon it. So definitely if you are close to ley lines or grid lines, then definitely work your magic. As I'm pretty sure we all are, because any city, I'm pretty sure there's a sacred spot in any city, anywhere in the world. Sometimes we may have to find it. You may not be able to Google it. You may have to go out in your city and actually explore your city and to find this sacred spot that nobody even knows is a sacred spot, but you can feel it in your soul. But you have to discover it yourself. Again, everything can't be found on the internet. Man. What do I think about twin flames? It's a soul connection between two people. A soul connection, meaning their synergy blends together so well it becomes magical. Meaning they can manifest magical experiences just being in each other's presence. Can any couple be a twin flame couple? I believe so. I feel it's a level of evolution. I don't believe in this, it's a whole love at first sight thing. I believe it's something that you can evolve to when you implement your spirituality with your relationship, where two people can build and grow from each other instead of one person doing it on their own and the other person is not privy to it. So two people combining their magical influences and their mathematical influences and their scientific influences can become very, very magical and can potentially change both of their worlds for the better. So it's a process of evolution. So before you were twin flame, you just boyfriend and girlfriend. But boyfriend and girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever. can evolve to twin flame if you can merge together the two contrasts. This is demonstrated in the tarot card, the Lovers, which is represented by the astrological sign of Gemini. So if you really want to get in tune with the twin flame energy, definitely connect with the zodiac sign of Gemini, the twin face or the twin souls. Can I speak on the power of manifesting in darkness? A dark room? A dark room is pretty much manifesting a dark room. It helps you focus because you're not distracted by artificial light or distractions. So if you're in a dark room, you can open your eyes, close your eyes. You're not distracted by, basically there's nothing stimulating your five senses. So when nothing is stimulating your five senses, your sixth sense or your intuition can flourish a lot more. It's hard for it to flourish with artificial light, with colors all over the place, when people around, food is in your face, you got a beautiful wife there with nothing on, oh my God, the list goes on, right? But when it's a dark room and you ain't concerned with none of that stuff, your intuition can manifest rapidly because there's no more distraction. So it cuts off the five senses to awaken the sixth sense. That's why you would meditate or manifest in a dark room, because it frees you from distractions of the physical world. Your parents' soul or some other shit, and I'm pretty sure it took them a while to get their Afro pick, It took them some time to integrate their souls, but now that it is integrated, it can't be stopped, Is there a way to get along with Saturn, like becoming vegan, connecting elderly? Life math 11, born on the 17th, Saturn really be getting to me? Well, Saturn is like the big brother that's punching you in your chest, telling you, get the lesson. And if you don't get the lesson, you're gonna keep getting hit in the fucking chest. That's all it is. So it's the big brother who's not trying to be friendly. It's a big brother that's like, yo, I'm teaching you this hard ass lesson for your benefit, for the greater good. Even though it hurts, it's painful, you don't like it, you probably never will like it. Who the fuck wants to get punched in the chest? Who the fuck wants to break a leg? Who the fuck wants to lose a large sum of money? But the lesson behind all that is what matters and what sticks with you. So at the end of the day, you're not going to remember the chest punches. You're going to remember the lessons that stem from it. So Saturn ain't to be friendly. Saturn is necessary. The necessary hardships or the harsh reality. It's like a necessary evil. We all got to go through pain. It's like we all got to die at some point. It's just a necessary process of life. We only gonna be here for an extended amount of time. So Saturn is a constant reminder, time. The lesson of Saturn is time. Utilize time to the best of your ability, because you are limited in your time. We don't have forever in this physical form. So we are limited by time. So utilize time to the best of your ability. That's the reoccurring lesson of Saturn at all times. Be mindful of the time. Be mindful of the cycles. Be mindful of the seasons. Be mindful of the ages. Be mindful of the aeons. Be mindful that everything changes on the physical plane. And most of those changes are not pleasant. Most of those changes can be violent change. But we know, again, like this world has softened us. That's why it doesn't appear to be that way, because this world has softened us. We have been trained to be soft and not want to deal with shit like that. But that's just a reality. If we was, living somewhere out in the wild, you would know that at any moment a fucking tiger can come through this motherfucking village and fuck all shit up. So we stay ready for some shit like that to happen. You stay hard body, because that's what you have to do to survive. You have to stay ready for anything. So my battery is now dead, so the battery is actually now draining, but we hit 3 hours, so I'm proud of that. You know what I mean? I don't know how the fuck people are gonna play this shit back and watch this full 3 hours. I feel for y'all. I feel for people who will watch this in the future. But you got the comment section so you can follow along. So we're gonna get up out of here. Appreciate everybody for watching, tuning in. You already know what the fuck it is. Asharenu, asharenu.com. I'm gonna get some food in my system. I'm gonna let the phone charge up. And I'm gonna be right back at y'all motherfuckers, man. And see if I can answer at least one more question. Let me see. Alright, we out this bitch. Hotel.